Legendary would be the word that I would use to describe last night's stream with Mauler and the Dishonored Wolf. It was 3 hours of fun, and if you didn't have the time to watch it, well, you should as soon as this morning's Good Morning Pop Culture is over. If I didn't have to pee or eat dinner, I would have kept that stream rolling all night long. Now, this morning's show is stuffed full to the muff of content. So let's get to 200 viewers so we can start this thing out properly. By the way, folks, I have great news. The last single video I did was a success, so those will be coming back regularly. And I'd like to thank everyone who watched. As we're getting up to 200 viewers, good morning to you, Lime Green Hunk. Good morning, Cesario Japan, Dylan Kerbal. Mutale, good morning, King Shitter. I like that one, King Shitter. I'm fine with that. I am completely fine with that. Pee where you sit, man. Be you. Oh, thank you, Liam Higante. Next time I will. Thank you, Jaron Ricewig. I appreciate that compliment. Oh, Lime Green Hunk, you have a good taste, then. I don't think Rose Tika will take revenge on me. She hasn't yet. I, along with Ethan, have actually bought more of those action figures than anyone on the planet combined, so I think she owes us a little bit of something. Oh, Dr. Coffin Nails, I will see you in Indy. I'm looking forward to that. I picked up a few things this weekend to get ready for Indy, namely a printer so I can print off the stuff for the t-shirts and get that rolling. And then when I get back, I can open up the website and sell the shirts that way directly to you guys from World Class Bullshitters. Thank you, Nathaniel. I thought yesterday's stream went incredibly well too. And give yourselves all a pat on the back, if you will, because it was you that requested it. Everyone wanted Mauler and the Dishonored Wolf, so together we made that happen. And it was a great time. Mauler's a friend now. Dishonored Wolf was a great guy. He was fun to talk to on and off air. And they'll definitely be back in the future. I don't know exactly when, but Mauler seems to work, quarterly on the channel. Every 3 months he pops up and boom. He's a lot of fun. Or he can come back anytime he wants. He's always welcome here on World Class Bullshitters. Mechanical Warfare, the muffs are nice and warm this morning. As fresh as my cup of coffee. Grand Inquisitor, I will check the email after the show. Normally, I don't check the emails until Tuesday morning, because Monday is usually the off day for me. But it was spent doing yard work and preparing the Indiegogo. So the Indiegogo part was awesome. The yard part, not so much. Not a fan of yard work, as you guys already know that. I'm upset about them not watching Mystery Men as well, Midnight Cherry TV, but I did watch your newest video with the hammer about Mundane Matt, and that was hilarious. So one of those thumbs up is from me, Midnight Cherry TV. You did excellent work, and I look forward to watching the rest of your stuff in the future. You have to clear your emails every day. See, that's why I have a business email. That's why it's worldclassbs@mail.com, because I didn't want the show associated with my personal email account. That's for stuff I buy on Amazon or Best Buy. You do yard work for a living. Triggered. Well, at least you only have to work part of the year, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, Lucifer, the title is dumb, but it could be worse. It could be worse. Yeah, speaking of Mundane Matt, let's talk about that for just a moment while we're almost to the 200 viewers. We will be discussing Mundane Matt on the High Council this evening. So if you have any comments or statements about Mundane Matt, that's what tonight's show is going to all be about. Not all be about it, but It's a weird situation right now. We dealt with him 2 weeks ago, and I thought, oh, you know what? We've said our piece. It's over and done with, and we're going to move on. And now there's this whole thing, and the High Council was mentioned in one of the videos, and that's fine. And then that got taken down. So, like I said, tonight we'll be talking about that big time. Billy Ritchie, how's your favorite bullshitter? I don't know how Dion is. Thank you, Billy Ritchie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw the Mitaker or Matoker, or formerly known as Internet Aristocrat. I saw that video too. So it was required viewing for tonight's High Council. Who hosts the High Council tonight? That would be Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers. Midnight Cheery TV, thank you very much for your first super chat. I'm going to be on a stream with Cecil tonight after the High Council. Well, I might be listening, depending on how late the High Council goes, so I can get up in time for Good Morning Pop Culture, but it'll happen. Matt will flag the High Council video later if you talk about him. Well, then we know that he's still up to his things, or his, what's the right word for it? His trickery. But I thought we had an amicable ending. I thought everything was good between the High Council and him. We'll find out soon. Yeah, I did butcher a lot of names. Mitaker, Matoker, Jim. I don't really know that guy too much, or too well, I should say. It's still early here. Yeah, we're not world-class rage quitters. I don't think I rage quit anything, actually. Even gaming, when I get reamed by someone else. Well, I don't really get reamed in games. I can usually hold my own, even if it's the first time I played it. I'm pretty decent at games. We'll talk about some games one of these days. Metaker. Okay, Metaker. There we go. That's how you pronounce it. Let's hope JR's internet doesn't keel over. Well, I think he got it all worked out. That Nick guy, is there any way I can see a picture of him in real life? I think he's my lost twin. Sure, Gola, go to our Facebook page. I'm pretty sure Nick is your lost twin. He has a brother, but they don't look similar, so maybe you're his true brother that he yearns for out in the real world. Yeah, I saw that too. The SJWs are losing their shit over Doom Eternal. I watched the Quarterings video this morning as I woke up. It made me want to buy the game, honestly, to support the joke. Maybe, who makes that? id Software, right? Is that id? Maybe if people support a game that makes fun of the SJW movement, we'll get more games that make fun of the SJW movement. Like, I'm expecting Grand Theft Auto 6 to be the game that makes fun of this whole situation and just goes overboard with it and lampoons the entire industry. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm waiting for. And once that happens, I'll be very, very excited. Thank you, Pete, for that nice compliment. It was a great stream last night. It was, like I said, had I not had to use the bathroom and eat dinner, because it was weird. Of all the nights of the week, my mom came home. She's like, I'm going to make dinner for you. I'm thinking, okay, cool, Mom. And, about 8 o'clock, here comes a plate of food. She made like roasted salmon and all this shit. I'm like, damn it, I can't let this go to waste. She worked really hard on it. So that's why we ended the stream. But I'll have him back sooner than later. Definitely in this year, we'll do maybe a Marvel retrospective or something. Maybe I'll get one of the bullshitters. Because one thing I really enjoyed about hanging out with Mauler and Dishonored Wolf is that they're friends outside of YouTube. So there's already like a connection between the two, which I don't even feel like the odd man out. I just feel like I'm talking to two friends. And since I've interacted with Mauler as much as I have, there's just all kinds of stuff to cover. Food does take priority. Thank you. Yeah, Mutali, my mom is awesome. I wish she was doing better. She was in a car wreck a couple years back, and she's just had like a flare-up from her injury, and it's she's doing pretty rough right now. So I appreciate her for what she does. So we have hit 200 viewers. We are past that now. Thank you to everyone who's here. Happens every day on World Class Bullshitters. Yes, Kenneth, we're going to talk about Jim the Anvil Neidhart in a moment. First, let's get to the main feature, because today's show has a ton of topics to cover. It's a stuffed muff, if you will. So first one, this was interesting. Dave Filoni not involved in day-to-day Star Wars Resistance work. Thank you, Daddy Thomas. You've been a fan since the 90s. Boom. I appreciate that. So here we are. Dave Filoni. Both Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels have been lauded for their compelling stories, thanks in large part to the vision of producer Dave Filoni, who helped bring both series to life. Filoni has accomplished so much within the medium that many put his name at the top of the list of directors they'd like to see tackle a number of different live-action or theatrically released projects. While Filoni is involved with the next animated project for the saga, Star Wars Resistance, the director admitted he hasn't directly been involved with each step of the show's development. Resistance is a bit different in that I'm not on it day to day, Filoni noted to IGN. I created and set it in motion, but I've given that to other people to raise up, people that I've worked with for a long time. I think deserves the opportunity to tell stories and who I think is exciting, and I'll give them my thoughts and notes. I was just doing that this morning, like George Lucas would give me, so that's fun. The Clone Wars took place between the events of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Rebels took place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and the upcoming series takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, with the final sequence of Rebels teasing which heroes survive to the time period of Resistance. Fans have wondered if those characters will make their way into the series somehow. So let's go back to that. Filoni is now like the George Lucas of the Star Wars animated world. Not so much that he's involved with everything, but he's giving his notes on other creatives' work. So that is a little alarming to me, because not really alarming, it's just a little telling. Let's be honest. It's not doom and gloom for this show. It wasn't really going to be high on my list of things to watch, because I've never sat down to watch more than 20 minutes of Rebels at someone else's house. But for everyone that's going to get behind Dave Filoni and get excited for this new show, I think that this revelation is important, because it's not the regular Dave Filoni quality that everyone knows and loves. This isn't Clone Wars. This is something else. This is Dave Filoni half-assing it, or he's there in name only, like I said in the title of this video. Filoni in name only. It could be great. There could be other people that want to work on Star Wars that have the same skill and talent as Dave Filoni. I'm not knocking them. All I'm saying is when people, much like Chris Stuckman, here's the example I'll give. Back in the day, Chris Stuckman was on Movie Fights, and all he said to defend the movie Tomorrowland was, wow, I can't even think of the guy's name that directed it. He just kept saying, Brad Bird, it's Brad Bird, Brad Bird, Brad Bird. And he used that as a qualifier or quantifier for the quality of the movie. He just kept saying, it's Brad Bird, it's Brad Bird, it's great, it's Brad Bird. Well, I just hope people don't fall into the trap of, oh, Star Wars Resistance is going to be great. It's Dave Filoni, it's Dave Filoni, it's Dave Filoni. Look, it's Filoni in name only. He's there, kinda. Other people are doing the heavy lifting, and he's just giving it the okay, the thumbs up. It's a little different. It's a lot different, actually. It's like saying Spielberg made a movie when he was only the executive producer on it. Let's see. Dave is saying it's his idea, but the SJWs are writing the scripts. Ouch. I'd be pissed if Star Wars Resistance... Here's the thing. I'm surprised that Star Wars Resistance has a male lead. With the new Disney era, it's surprising that they'll let a male lead a Star Wars property. Now, you could say that they're only doing it on the small screen because the boys will watch the show and buy the action figures, and that's where they want to make the money. But in the grand scheme of things, why not do that at the box office? I'm not saying Rey being a man would make the story better. I'm not at all. I am saying, though, that the action figures would sell better if the main character was a dude with a lightsaber. Or they had a dude with a lightsaber that kids could look up to as, like, the hero of the saga. Finn's a joke. Poe's a joke. Rey, the only one that the movie takes seriously, sucks. Rose Tico, a joke. I have never watched the Star Wars Force for Diversity cartoon. I've seen the toys. I've seen screenshots of the show, but I'm not going to watch it anytime soon. It's not for me. I don't like the Bratz-inspired look. If I want to watch a Star Wars animated show, I'll just go back and watch Clone Wars again. We covered the entire thing here on the channel about 2 weekends ago, and I would watch that in a heartbeat compared to anything new from the Force for Diversity. Yeah, Poltergeist is a good example. Well, Poltergeist is a slightly different example because it's rumored that Tobe Hooper's name is on the movie and that he directed some of it, but then somebody came in to kind of handle and do the work because Tobe Hooper wasn't qualified enough. Now, maybe that could happen on certain episodes with Resistance. I keep wanting to say Rebels because it's, established and it just flows through the tongue. Rebels. Less syllables this early in the morning. Let's see. It wouldn't be the resistance between episode 6 and 7. The Republic had an official army that time. Oh, okay. It's trash. Don't waste my time. Okay. I won't. I don't plan on watching it. Reality is that still parents who are buying the toys, parents and collectors. Disney has killed the nostalgia, so buy collectors. Kids don't want action figures. Some kids want toys. Where do we draw the line for kids that don't want action figures? Because little ones still play with toys. Dion's kids play with action figures. Yeah, they know how to use a PlayStation and a tablet, but it's a blend of everything. Dion and his wife have personally probably spent, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 on toys. And the kid's 5 years old, roughly. So there are people, but it just goes to show you the lack of foresight they had. So they dump on collectors. Thank you, Mellow E. I appreciate that. World Class Bullshitters is an automatic thumbs up. We appreciate it. Kathleen Kennedy will not be leaving Star Wars as she brought back the Clone Wars and had a positive reaction with the upcoming Episode 9. There's really nothing to say she has a positive reaction for Episode 9. Good morning to you, Mareth Deoline. I appreciate all your limericks last night. Off air, the guys were like, I didn't know, because I guess Mauler and the Dishonored Wolf don't have a community like the World Class Bullshitters one. So they're like, man, I didn't realize that people were, they had in-jokes and stuff for your channel. I'm like, yeah, man, this channel's a real thing. So thank you, Mareth Deoline. I appreciated it. Thank you, Broomboy, and good morning to you as well. My live stream yesterday was more entertaining than Disney Star Wars. I hope it was. I'd like to think every live stream I do is more interesting than Disney Star Wars. Yeah, like today it's a little slow of a start, but we're going to ramp it up because we have bad comic book art. We have all kinds of rough shit to show you guys. Mephiston, Star Wars Mephistons. I'm cool with that name too. Oh, I'm not going to blame you for being a Kathleen Kennedy fan. You're just thinking that's what's going to happen. I get it. If episode 9 is a failure, she's gone, guaranteed. I know everyone's talking about September. Personally, I hold the Clone Wars revival as a last-ditch attempt. Maybe that's why Filoni's not really that big into Resistance, and he's back on Clone Wars to try to fix it up and get the animation up to snuff and all that stuff. Maybe that's the case, because they want that streaming money. They don't want people to... Well, the thing is, they want the streaming money, but they already fucked up on that. Seriously. No original Star Wars, nothing rated R. So basically, the Disney streaming service is for children. It's Marvel, and it's all the old Disney animated shows. So they're going to sell you on nostalgia. Like when you see Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and all that stuff on the streaming service, they're going to be pulling at the 20-something, 30-something age groups heartstrings. They're like, guys, remember these shows when you were kids? They were great. And then you're just going to go, well, yeah, I do remember that. And then you realize, well, at least I'll realize, that Disney bought Fox, and the best part of their library will never be on the streaming service. And they probably won't be on other streaming services either, because Disney wants to control that stuff. So say goodbye to stuff like Predator and Commando and Alien, all of them, Aliens, being on a streaming service. It's going to be a weird thing. Now, what if the Disney streaming service is just an add-on to Hulu? Like they do the HBO and Showtime packages. That could be interesting. But we'll find out in a couple months. Right now, my eye is focused on the DC streaming service and how bad that Teen Titans trailer looked, as well as what's coming next. And I've been thinking about the Batwoman show, too, how Ruby Rose wasn't gay enough or whatever to play Batwoman, and people are all up in almost said SJW rage. Well, that's the same thing as an outrage, SJW rage. They're just freaking out over nothing. I mean, the gay character's not gay enough. Is Idris Elba not black enough? Where are these people coming from with these outrages, these faux outrages? They're not real problems, guys. Billy Ritchie says she sold the TV fund or the Star Wars rights to fund Soilo. That'd be interesting if that was the truth. It was a bad investment if she did. I mean, if that's the case, let's look at that as a certainty. That happened. So she takes all this money from Turner to fund Solo, which was a flop. So they lost money in the long run because she had to fund the rewrites and the reshoots and all that fun junk. And now Star Wars is hidden over at Turner until 2024? So what are we, 6 years from now? Bad move, Kathleen. Bad move. Kathleen Kennedy used to be a good money person, but now she's just making stupid mistake after stupid mistake. Maybe we're getting to her. Maybe the fandom menace is just fucking with her mind and she can't think straight. Maybe we've been fucking with her since 2016 when she made this stupid decision and the fandom menace wasn't a thing. So I'd like to hear that argument being made by some vocal minority of a minority over on Twitter. You guys bullied her into making a bad business move, and that's why Star Wars will suffer because of you. It's like, no, that's not the case. That is not the case. Mareth Dialine, thank you very much. To answer your question from yesterday, I write some limericks as I type, but I mostly have a list. Oh, okay. Well, Mareth Dialine, I appreciate them, and they make me laugh, and it's a nice change of pace. Humor makes the world go round. Too bad these outrage critics don't like humor. They can't take a joke like Doom. Oh, they're not demons, they're mortally challenged. I laughed when I saw that little clip from the quartering, and I thought to myself, that's a good joke. And now there's an outrage, and I almost want to buy the game just to say, hey, you guys want to come after a property? Suck it. I got duped into buying Wolfenstein, and that was some garbage. And because of the agenda in that game, I just turned it off. Honestly, it was the 30-minute cutscenes between levels that turned me off to it. But I won't be buying another Bethesda game ever. Not even because of the political aspect, just because I was so unimpressed with what they did. Good phrase, John. Weaponized nostalgia. A Disney streaming service that has no good movies sounds about right. Yeah, it does. Kamikaze Johnson, awesome icon. I didn't even know that there were varying degrees. Wow, I am way off. I didn't even know that there were varying degrees of gayness. You learn something every day. I learned that through Facebook, and Facebook is the most reliable source for news and, well, just anything on the internet. If you see it on Facebook, it's got to be true. But all joking aside, there was an article linked to that, and now she's off social media and all this stuff. So it's just one big PR stunt after another. They're following the playbook. Now that's the thing that pissed me off. I did the SJW playbook video, and no one watched that. It only had 34,000 views, and that one gave you all the tips and tricks that they used for Star Wars. And to me, that was the most important video we put out next to the Disney one. Both ironically got really low views because if you know their tips and their tricks and their dirty pool, then you know how to beat them at it. It's like right now, since I read the SJW playbook per se, or as so it's called, I do know that the Ruby Rose thing is the first step in a bunch of other tactics to garner sympathy and attention for a show that really doesn't have too much of an audience. They're going to try to guilt people into covering it, guilt people into watching it. But since it's on CW, a lot of people are going to skip it. I know you got your DC fans that watch everything that they put out, but then there's people like me who don't care about the character, has nothing to do with her sexuality or orientation or anything, just wasn't going to watch it. Hell, I don't dislike the Flash or the Green Arrow as superheroes, but I don't watch their shows because I don't watch CW shows. Not really into that brand. And I don't mean DC, I just mean the CW teeny bopper shows. Much like I don't watch Gotham. Don't do superheroes on TV. Big screen for me only. Let's see. Do you think James Gunn? Yeah, James Gunn. That guy. What they call Loki's brain in the Avengers? A bag of cats. That's what I'm going to call James Gunn from now on. That guy's brain is a bag of cats. The new Colossus is the one I stopped playing. They tried weaponized nostalgia with Star Wars. We gave them a chance. They burned us. Don't give them a chance with the streaming service. I'm not personally. No. Practice what I preach. I keep telling you guys, I will see episode 9 for the channel. There's no debate about that. I'm going to be focused on giving you guys entertainment throughout the year, and we have to go. I mean, we're going to Star Wars Celebration to cover that, and then we're going to go watch Star Wars Episode 9. That's not some secret. We will be talking about that. We'll be covering that. But other than that, I might tap out. Like if the Rian Johnson trilogy becomes a thing, I'm putting it out there. I put it out there last night on the Mauler stream. Not gonna do it. No new Star Wars. That's an old reference that only some of the listeners will get. Oh God, a Star Wars film written by Mundane Matt. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, speaking of Star Wars, since we're on the topic, because that's a nice lead-in, a photo from the set of Star Wars Episode 9 was released. And I don't know if you guys saw it. It means absolutely nothing to me. You know, some people are trying to read into it, as they always do. But this came from Cinema Blend that says Star Wars fans got too excited about a photo today. Star Wars fans get too excited about everything. And I'm not talking about the fandom menace. I'm talking about, oh my God, Daisy Ridley took a shit on set today. It's the best Star Wars movie ever. Best movie ever before that shit came out. Those are the type of people I honestly just don't pay attention to anymore. They can have their opinion. They're wrong. But how can something be the best thing ever when it's not completed, when you haven't seen it? You're putting your faith in a brand that has consistently disappointed millions of people for the last 3 years. I mean, where is your bar for quality? How do you gauge what the best thing ever is? Is it the newest thing that makes it the best? Because unless it's some piece of technology that consistently advances itself on every front, I don't think that statement stands true with anything. Like every comic book that comes out does not mean that the newest issue is the best issue ever because it's newer. No. Spider-Man, the newest issue, doesn't mean shit to me. I'd rather go back and read something from the 80s, the 60s, a previous decade. I don't understand that quantifier. Is he really taking a shit would appeal to some folks? Probably. Let me show you the image, though, that people were apparently too excited over. So this came from Dan Mindel over in the UK. It says space lights, or splites as we would call them. Unbeatable quality source of ambient lighting. 6,000 watts, 6 lamps, or 3,000 watt, 3 lamps. There you go. That's the first set image, I suppose. Now, people are probably... here's what the article says. Whatever your job is, you probably geek out a little bit when it comes to certain aspects of it. That's really the director of photography, Dan Mindel, is doing here, as he's just super excited to be working with the movie. Well, I get that. But I've seen people try to look at this image and say, look, it's a Jedi mural. It's this, it's that. All I see is J.J. Abrams going back on his word. You guys remember how The Force Awakens was sold to you? Real sets and practical effects. I remember that too. But I don't see that right now. I see the same filmmaking process as the prequels. So I don't hate the prequels. I don't love the first two. The third one's good. But for anyone that wants to complain about those, your new ones are made the same way. So let's get, off of our high horses. First off, let's stop scaring Dion with said high horses. But let's get off our high horses and realize that these movies are just as guilty as the prequels. Because why? They sold you with the weaponized nostalgia, as coined by one of our fans. I think it was John. And now they're going back on that, and they're just going to make it the quick and easy way because they don't want to lose money. It was nice that they could market you. We're on set in the desert of somewhere. We're on location here. We're there, we're everywhere. We're savoir-faire, reference to an old cartoon. But now they're like, we got to get this shit done quick and cheap because no one cares anymore. We screwed the pooch. We owe Lucas an apology. I think a lot of people owe George Lucas an apology. No, the prequels aren't perfect. I'm not looking back through this lens of 2018 saying, oh man, that movie was, those movies were genius. There were parts that were good and that I've acknowledged for years, and there are parts that are dumb that I've acknowledged for years. So I'd like to think I had a pretty level head about the whole thing. I think most of you probably have a pretty level head about the situation. Sorian Sky, thank you for your super chat. Spielberg said Kathleen Kennedy was a bad assistant. Foreboding. I'm sure she's pretty much bad at everything professionally. Can't speak about her personal life since we don't know her, but I'm going to agree with that. From what I heard, now this isn't, the truth confirmed. This is a rumor, which could be the truth. We don't know. But I heard that Kathleen Kennedy used like a Title IX loophole or something to get herself in with Spielberg and kind of kept herself around out of fear of Spielberg kept her around out of fear of being sued. So Don't know what the 100% truth is with all of that or in all of that, but I have heard that before. Not only did they screw the pooch, they screwed the pooch so hard it turned into a bookshelf from IKEA. Is that Canto Bite high horse we have to get down off of? Yeah, the space horse or spores from Canto Bite is where all the people are right now, and people got to get down off that high horse. The people who bashed the prequels for 15 years are the ones calling us toxic, hypocritical crybabies like Campea. John Campea doesn't have the leg to stand on anymore. John Campea has effectively been silenced by me and millions of other people out there who just don't pay attention to the guy anymore. He put himself out of commission, if we want to be completely honest, by kissing the ring or kissing the ass of whatever company gives him exclusive access so he can sell his little websites. He has really just put himself out of business. You could see that he was trying to change. Well, not even change. He was trying to get people to look at him and say, "Oh, I'm not a shill. I'm not this. I'm not that." And then you had, that meltdown, and then he's been kind of silent. I know he still does some stuff, but not in the same level that he used to. And he's just biding his time. He's waiting. He's probably working behind the scenes as a mailroom clerk at Warner Brothers or something. And he's hoping that he hears an executive at lunch say, "Hey, Henry Cavill's not coming back," or this or that. So there's a bunch of stuff that John Campea is probably doing right now, and making stuff that people want to watch on YouTube is not one of them. Campea's been talking a lot about the gun stuff, even giving some of his own history too. Well, let's I'll have to check that out. He doesn't have the same prominence. Wow, today, what a giant super chat. Thank you very much. Wow. The prequels, dumb spots are forgiven by me, to be honest. At least they went. The prequels' dumb spots are forgiven by me, to be honest. At least they went along great with the already developing story and added many great things to Star Wars. Sure, they're imperfect, but did not fuck with the universe to an extent like the sequel trilogy did. Yeah, that's like Han Solo was never mentioned in the damn prequels, not even once. No, nothing, not even a passing remark, and that's why that worked with him. Obi-Wan, to me, it built on Obi-Wan. I like Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan as much as I like Alec Guinness. I know, blasphemy, right? Well, I don't care. I'm not going to apologize for that one. For me, Ewan McGregor brought a young Obi-Wan to screen in a good way. I enjoyed him so much that I would love him to come back. I embraced that performance. And you go back and you watch it. Yeah, the killing younglings line is kind of poorly delivered, but overall, there's some good stuff. And it does build upon it. Now, with Anakin, it did kind of make him whiny, and it took away a little bit of the epicness that was Darth Vader, the sheer force of evil that just swept across the screen and took down the rebels to a degree, and killed Obi-Wan and did all these things. Vader was a very capable villain, and Hayden Christensen playing young Anakin kind of changed the perception for a lot of people. So that's how I feel about that. And they are imperfect, but overall, they didn't ruin the universe the way the new ones have. My favorite character, they ruined him. And it's not that I'm bitter that, it's your favorite character, he's dead. I don't care that Han Solo died. I saw it coming back in 2012 when they announced that all these people were coming back. What I do care about is you take away the achievements of these characters, all of them. Luke, Leia, Han, Chewbacca to an extent. Yeah, Chewbacca used to be a hero, a fighter. He was on the front lines doing shit. He was at the Battle of Endor on the ground. He was involved at the end of the Battle of Yavin. Like, Chewbacca did deserve the medal, and Chewbacca was a hero. But now what does he do? He's Rey's dog. He just flies around on the ship and backs her up. Why does she get Chewbacca and R2-D2 and the Falcon? Oh, I know why. Because there are three marketable things that Lucasfilm can put with that character, and people think, well, she gets the Falcon, she gets R2-D2, and she gets Chewbacca. She's a great character. No. That's dumb. I just thought of another similarity between The Empire Strikes Back and The Last Jedi. Remember how R2-D2 and C-3PO really are separated that whole movie? They do it again with this one, and they get together at the end. Weird connection I just made in my head, but there it is. But today I would Yeah, the prequels, I'll take those all day, every day over the damn sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy has done some good in, building this channel, helping me make friends with Ethan and Jeremy and Mauler and those guys like that. So there's that. Because Mauler asked me the question last night, would you press the button to make it disappear? And I said, no, I would not press the button to make the Star Wars sequel trilogy disappear because of the impact it's had on my life. But if I could press the button to make sure there's no more in the future, I definitely would. So thank you, Tanae, for your very, very generous super chat. I mean, that's giant. So thank you very much. And I got your message about your shirt, and I'll be getting that ready soon. By the way, folks, all of our patrons that are going to get shirts, I'll be asking your shirt sizes this week, and I'll be getting those shipped out to you before I go to Horror Hound. So hopefully my printer doesn't screw it up and you get them early and you can wear them to the show if you're there. Let's see. Marette Dealine, will you be able to get your mom on the show? Her opinions about various topics would be interesting. I can get my mom on the show. She always works, but I'm going to let you guys know she doesn't like entertainment much. So she doesn't know. She's not like me, who reads the stuff, who researches it. It's not really her cup of tea. So she'll come on and you can ask her questions probably about me, but she wouldn't be able to say oh, this is how I feel about Star Wars or this or that. She just, I don't know. A lot of times she watches a movie one time and never watches it again. Like, I can get her to watch some TV shows, but that's about it. Yeah, Kenneth, the Han wasn't, but the Millennium Falcon was. Yeah, I saw that in episode 3 when they're landing on the Coruscant landing platform after they crash landed the ship. The final 60 seconds of Vader in Rogue One was the best Vader ever. It was very good. I would say the best Vader ever is in Empire Strikes Back. That is his film. I don't really know I guess Luke's film is Return of the Jedi and A New Hope, but Vader just steals the show in The Empire Strikes Back. Great performance from David Prowse, James Earl Jones, Bob, whatever his name is, that did the stunt work. Just everybody brought Vader to life in such a great, powerful way, and you feared him. Kylo Ren is not a villain that instills fear in the hearts of any man or woman or child or human. Maybe some demons out there, or excuse me, the mortally challenged. Maybe they're afraid of Kylo Ren. Other than that, no. Kylo Ren's a bitch. Vader is the fucking man. Vader tossing Palpatine down the tube. Now that was a moment. I think that may be one of the most powerful in the original cut. Everything up to the 2011 cut, when Vader looks at Luke, looks at Palpatine, looks at Luke, looks at Palpatine, then grabs him, and then the Force theme plays, and he throws him in that one final attempt to save us. That's a cool moment. There are some moments of Star Wars that are truly great, and that's one of them. David Cook, thank you very much for your super chat. About the streaming service, in the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap! Jeff, henceforth you'll be known as Darth Muff. I'm fine with being known as Darth Muff. It's cool with me. Hey, at least I'm known as something. I mean, Mr. Shitter's fine. Darth Muff is fine. I have many names now. I'm cool with that. So David Cook has anointed me Darth Muff. Saurian Sky, Kathleen Kennedy's origin story. And then he put a link. I'll have to check that out. Let me copy and paste that real quick. Thank you, Saurian Sky. Let's see. Apology accepted, Captain Nita, when he chokes out Admiral Ozzel, the captain on the Avenger, and then addresses Admiral Piet as a threat. Yeah, man. When at the very end, when the Millennium Falcon actually makes it into hyperspace, and Admiral Piet is like, oh shit, and then Vader just turns away. What a cool moment. What a great exit, too. Vader's entrance in the film is great, and his exit in the film is great. That's what Star Wars characters really did well. I mean, Luke had a great intro in the first movie, where she calls to him and he kind of looks over and it plays the music. And then they all have a great ending when they're on Endor together, or at the Rebel ceremony at the beginning or end of A New Hope. It all works. Introductions and exits are great in the original Star Wars. Not so much anymore. I'm happy to say I got the non-remastered trilogy first. My aunt has the one VHS. I have digital copies of the Harmy editions, thanks to our friend John. He sent in copies to me. because it's legal for me to own them because I own the Blu-rays, and they're just like a digital copy of something I've already paid money for. The legality is all over on originaltrilogy.net or .com. So if you guys own the Blu-rays, you can download those, and it's not technically pirating. They have the legality on the site. Just follow that stuff and check it out for yourself. But it's worth it. Mopey Hornet, thank you very much. What do you think of Captain Picard coming back? Well, if it's in the same vein as Star Trek Discovery, not really interested. But as a kid, I had some weird interest in Jean-Luc Picard. I had an action figure that spoke, and there was something I liked about him. Patrick Stewart's a fantastic actor. For me, I don't think I'm going to watch it either way because it kind of seems desperate. And at the same time, Star Trek is just in such a bad place right now. I hated Star Trek Beyond. I don't want to watch Discovery for all the weird forced identity politics, as well as the fact that it's on CBS's streaming service. And I'm not going to pay, was it $10 a month to watch one show and then like reruns of The Big Bang Theory? I fucking hate that show. I would never give CBS any of my money. This will be a different Picard. Patrick Stewart said so. Well, then that's a different reason for me not to watch it. So there we go. By the way, folks, this is the Star Wars lighting rig. Let me go to our next image because, like I said, this morning is a stacked show. So say goodbye to that. Now, do me a favor. Press 1 if you'd like to talk about James Gunn, or press 2 if you'd like to talk about Sony and their stupidity. So 1 for Gunn, 2 for Sony. I got the Back to the Future trilogy for Christmas last year. It was a great gift. Definitely a great gift. Great movie. Fantastic trilogy. The third one's not as good for me, but still. Okay, so we're getting a lot of 2s. Mostly 2s. Oh, I got a 1 and a 2. Oh, a 3. Well, fine. We're going to do the James Gunn story first, and then we're going to talk about the Sony stupidity next. So this is more of an opinion-based question, but I think it's still important, and I want to chime in on this. Can Dave Bautista actually quit Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Following the firing of James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Drax star Dave Bautista has been vocal in his support for the director, suggesting he may leave the franchise. But will his contract even allow that? It has been a mere 2.5 weeks since James Gunn was fired from directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by the Walt Disney Company over offensive jokes he made on Twitter between 2008 and 2012. Gunn has previously apologized for the tweets, but Disney still severed ties with the director. The director led to an immediate this decision led to an immediate backlash from various sources, from fans and journalists to industry figures like director Fede Alvarez, comedian Patton Oswalt, and director and Guardians of the Galaxy star Kurt Russell. I didn't know Kurt Russell chimed in on that shit. As of writing this piece, Change.org petition in support of reinstating Gunn has over 371,000 signatures. Oh shit! You don't follow this story for one day, and this happens. On July 30th, the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy released a joint statement expressing support for Gunn. Their support has been muted, but still notable given the might of Disney contracts and that still bind them to the MCU and the third Guardians film. Yet the most vocal in his support for Gunn has been Drax actor Dave Bautista. And this is what Bautista had to say. I will do what I'm legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn just isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also pretty nauseating to work for someone who'd empower a smear campaign by fascist cyber Nazis. That's how I feel. Oh, eat a dick, Bautista. Just seriously, eat a dick. That cyber Nazis, now he's just playing into their bullshit. Fuck that guy. Bautista does have balls, but at the same time, when he's employing those kind of tactics, I'm like, God damn it. So it looks like a lot of people are... Okay, so Bautista has balls. I miss him as a wrestler. Yeah, I was at WrestleMania 30, so I saw him... I've been there for WrestleMania since 22, so I've seen Bautista wrestle a ton of times. But yeah, I liked when he lost to Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. That's all the wrestling. That's not all the wrestling. We'll talk about it later. Yeah. Bautista is too vocal on this. He may know more than we do, but is turning a blind eye. There's from Geeks and Gamers covered this, and he said, if nothing else comes out, then I'll forgive James Gunn. And then the pictures came out from the party with him as a priest, and he's like, fuck it, I'm done. I did watch that video from Jeremy yesterday, and I don't really have too much of a stake in all of this. To me, Guardians of the Galaxy is a good series of films, but I'm not emotionally connected like a lot of people. I don't defend a single word that James Gunn said, and I'm not really involved in that. I don't care about the lives of celebrities or Twitter or all these things. This situation's weird and gross and disturbing. Like, I'm not going to defend a single thing he said at all. Those jokes are, uncomfortable. And then more stuff comes out, and it all builds to that case. So somebody like Jeremy definitely has made good points. For me, discussing Batista, I think Batista could he'll do what he's got to do, but I don't think that the next movie is going to have the same excitement that it basically, Gunn being let off this movie is going to kill the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, which I've said on previous episodes was going to be what carried them over post Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, characters, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. Those are the main event. I know people want to say Black Panther is an A-list character now. He's not. Bucky, Falcon, all those characters are great, but they're not the main event. I don't see those characters carrying their own movie and the Marvel franchise forward. A lot of people see all these movies so they don't miss a moment, but they're waiting for Robert Downey Jr. They're waiting for Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth. Like, those guys are big stars. Robert Downey Jr. is the A-list of the A-list, top actor in the world. Him and The Rock. Now, Robert Downey Jr. is a much better actor than The Rock, but The Rock's just really popular and successful because he seems, like a good person and picks his movies. Every once in a while, he gets a good one. But these other characters aren't. They don't have it. Only Guardians, to me, had the appeal to be Avengers-level hits consistently with these crazy, outlandish, intergalactic battles, the space operas. It's Star Wars for the new generation. Star Wars ain't Star Wars anymore. Guardians is. And without James Gunn and the cast not wanting to be there, like, they'll be there, but they may not give great performances. They may try to pull, internal sabotage where they're here, I'm doing my job, but that's all you're going to get out of me type of thing. So Batista may give 200 takes of Drax the Destroyer saying, my turds are legendary, but he gives them like a wooden door. My turds are legendary. And that's the movie, and that sabotages it and sinks it, and it's a joke. So I don't think Disney's going to bend their will this time because they have a lot of different interests out there. And I don't think these directors are going to bend their will. They'll just show up, they'll rebel, they'll do what they have to do, and it's going to be a really tense and awkward set. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the meetings and, on set to see how these actors feel. I feel bad for the director who has to pick up the work. It could be Edgar Wright, and I would be excited because I feel like that guy's got a good eye for everything, and he could really make Guardians 3 interesting. But no matter who it is, these people that make the movie aren't going to stand behind that director. Andy, thank you for Super Chat. I think the tide is turning against the so-called SJWs. I do too. I've been feeling that way since about Star Wars-y, like not Force Awakens, but like fairly recent. Like, people are waking up to this shit, and people are, a majority of people aren't given a pass to these things for being inclusive or progressive. They're like judging it on the merit that they should be judging it, a metric, if you will. And the SJWs are losing ground. They're now becoming a joke. The things they fight for were already achieved years and years ago. Like, that's why I really get angry when people talk about Black Panther being this, this movement in black cinema. It's like, we've had black-led films for decades that have made tons of money for decades. I know I use this example, but it's the best one. Did everyone forget about Eddie Murphy? I know that he's not funny and he had a bunch of failures recently, or like the last 20 years, but before we were all born, he was the man. I mean, he was a stand-up comedian and actor. The dude put out a record. I know you don't know it, but he had a song with Rick James called Party All the Time that was a huge hit. And if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's pretty decent. So, I mean, Eddie Murphy was doing shit like that. You've had equality in the music world for a long time. Look at Michael Jackson, the biggest star ever, was black. I don't know what happened towards the end. My point is, the stuff that the SJW people are fighting for has already been achieved. So they're looking for more fringe things, smaller things to pick up and elevate and fight for. soon they're going to be talking about pygmies in America or shit like that. And it's like, we just don't have that population here. Let's get over ourselves. But no, they're always going to find something. But I'm with you. I feel that they're coming to the end of their cause because people just aren't paying attention to them anymore. No one cares. We all see them for what they truly are, a bunch of crazy people with too much time on their hands. They're just, they have to, maybe they're all growing up. They got to go out and get a real job. They have to go out and, fend for themselves, or else they're just going to, die. I like Black Panther, but I don't see this groundbreaking. If it gets nominated for Best Visual Effects Oscar, I will laugh. Yeah, it better not. That scene where he falls off the waterfall is kind of laughable. Tanae, my girl wants to party all the time. I thought I was the only one who knew. Tanae, I am a big Eddie Murphy fan. I have Party All the Time on my phone, both versions, the extended cut and the regular cut. Party All the Time is featured in Grand Theft Auto 5, so if anyone out there likes, I think it's Flashback FM, that song is on there. And it's cool. I mean, yeah, Eddie Murphy's a joke now, but back in the day, he was the man. We haven't had we haven't had many celebrities like that in general, black, white, or anything, that has taken over, so many different jobs and been so successful at them. I mean, Eddie Murphy, Raw, and Delirious are two of the best stand-ups I've ever seen. And they still stand up. It's funny that people don't know that he was a stand-up comedian at one point in time, with the leather suits. And, when you think back in the 80s, you think of a bunch of cultural icons. I think of like Hulk Hogan, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There are just so many great cultural icons of the 80s, and the good ones always rose to the top. Yeah, you had some weird niche ones like Grace Jones or Bridget Nielsen, but the truly great ones are immortalized through their work. And we don't have those today. I mean, we're worried about like propping up marginalized people that can't act, or just people that can't act in general. Like Daisy Ridley can't act for shit. She has no charisma. She has no inflection in her voice. She's just boring, and she's just there. Carrie Fisher may not have been a great actress, but she brought out a great performance for Princess Leia and made her memorable. The SJWs are attacking people, or attacking themselves right now. Are they? I don't really follow too much of the SJW culture unless it, fucks with entertainment. But I guess they're so bored that they're got to go after each other now. Let's see. I was born in 76. I actually remember Eddie Murphy. I was born in 88. I grew up with Eddie Murphy. I thought he was cool. I saw The Nutty Professor in theaters. I was, 7 years old. I thought it was great. I still like that movie. I went back and watched it on Netflix about a year ago, and I laughed my ass off. Would I wear an Eddie Murphy raw jacket with matching pants? I don't think you guys want me to wear a leather outfit. It just wouldn't be comfortable or attractive on me. So I'm going to go with no, but I'll wear an Axel Foley jacket. Did I hear Will Smith's son Jaden believes there's a real Wakanda out there right now? Are you shitting me? We've given Jaden Smith tons of shit on this channel, but he believes there's a real Wakanda out there, not like a spiritual thing like Wakanda lives in all of us or some shit. Look, Wakanda's fake. Asgard's fake. Vibranium's fake. Adamantium's fake. All that shit's fake. There's no real Deadpool. Spider-Man isn't in New York right now. He's dust. But my point is, Jaden Smith or anyone out there that tries to elevate Wakanda to be something that it's not real. Let's just get over ourselves, okay? There's no utopia hidden behind an invisible wall on the continent of Africa. It just doesn't exist. How do I know? Because it's a made-up fucking movie. Oh my god, who is the most woke? That'd be an interesting series of videos to make, where it's like, what's your woke quotient? Well, my woke quotient's 10. I helped this, that, and a marginalized Asian child with 4 eyes or some dumb shit like that. And these people are just going to go bounce off of each other about who's the most woke. Some travel sites had to put up a disclaimer that said Wakanda does not exist. God, people are fucking dumb. I'm not trying to be like harsh, but this is the type of shit you learn as a child. There's no, well, you don't really learn about Santa Claus when you're that young, but you learn about things like, well, there's no Easter Bunny, there's no this, there's no that. It's like parents need to be told, There's no Wakanda. Like, in grade school, they're going to need to teach kids, like, Wakanda's not a real place. Well, I don't know. Maybe the schooling system doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So they'll be like, well, Wakanda's just a state of mind that we can all visit whenever we want of every color. It's like, look, teach, Wakanda's fucking fake. Get over it. A lot of people are talking about Eddie Murphy. I wish Vibranium was real. So do I. Drive me closer. The Ninja Turtles are in the sewer of New York City, though. Yeah, that's true. I can confirm that. If you put a pizza on the street corner, a $10 bill will pop up, and then they'll take the pizza. Check it out. It's fun. Make those videos, Jeff. The woke Olympics is already a meme out there. Make it happen. I guess I gotta. If enough people request it, I'll work on it for the channel. Let's see. Jeff, do you have a wife? I am very happily single. I would not want to be married right now. The channel's doing great, and I'm busy. I could not commit to being married or having a child or even being in a committed long-term relationship. I would be the world's worst boyfriend/husband. It's like I work early in the morning, then I do stuff for the channel in the day, and then I get back on at night, and it's just like nonstop. I'm gonna skip out on going to my 15-year grade school reunion on Friday night to do channel work. So, but the best part is I like doing this so much that I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like, oh, where's my life gone? Look, I had the fun college experience, and I've done all kinds of cool stuff. I've traveled, I've been everywhere, I've done lots of stuff that I want to do. Well, and I've been everywhere, been to most parts of this country. My point is, I'm just not there yet in terms of availability. I got shows to attend and fans to meet and hangouts to do and stuff like that. So that's where I am. Maybe, I'll have a kid when I'm 40 years old. I don't care. Wokest warrior, basically deadliest warrior, but woke. You know what, Alpha Terranema? I'm going to write that one down because I absolutely loved that show. And where's my pen? Since I got my Wacom tablet installed in here, I don't have as much space. Wokest warrior. SJW parody. And I went to the gym yesterday. Boom. Okay. The Pui, good morning from El Paso, Jeff. Well, the Pui, good morning to you in El Paso, my friend. I'm glad to see you joining us this morning. Let's see. Dion, yeah, that's why you're not in a relationship. Joke. Well, Dion, your sister lives too far away to bang all the time, so that's why that hasn't happened. Wink, wink. I swear Dion's my best friend. We just love to talk shit to each other all the time. And I'm so glad that your bachelor party that you attended, Dion, was 4 dudes in a hotel with a dog. That wait till mine, dude. We're gonna go to Vegas. You may not come back. Not that you'd even want to. Jeff is so woke. No dose makes him. No dose takes him. Let's see. Billy Ritchie, thank you very much. Dude, stay single as long as possible. 7-year relationship for me. I do miss it at times. Yeah. It's just nice to not have to be like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like, some of my friends are in these relationships, and I'm like, I would need some time to myself just to do anything. It's, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't really, and yeah, I can have fun on my own. Like, I went to, we're not going to talk about that. I'll tell that off air, or not off air. I'll tell that over on Patreon about my 4th of July weekend. Something about that weekend and me, and just always goes well. DeMille Jr., I miss Eddie Murphy's laugh. So do I. I miss so much about Eddie Murphy. It's just not coming back. But that's why, for me, I have went out on eBay and picked up all kinds of old Beverly Hills Cop store displays and stuff like that, so I can surround myself with when Eddie Murphy was good. But yeah, Dion, I got you. I burned your back, son. That's why we're best buddies. I'll be seeing you in like a week, which is such a nice thing to say. Normally it's like, yeah, I'll see you at New Year's, bro. No, I'll see you at Horror Hound, bitch. Medea Goes to Wakanda. I'll watch that fucking movie. Magic Bullocks. How do you feel having Sean Connery as a fan? I feel honored that Sean Connery would go out of his way to make a video for the world-class bullshitters. So, Mr. Connery, if you're out there, Sir, was it Sir Sean now, right? He's knighted, I think. Thank you very much for your contribution to the world as James Bond. And thank you for your latest contribution in your world-class bullshitters praise video. So thank you very much, 007. You're always 007 in our hearts. Cesaria Japan, thank you very much. Zamunda is the best fictional country, or is best fictional country than Wakanda. Better than Wakanda. Okay. That's true. Yeah, Zamunda seems a lot more fun than Wakanda. They don't really fight or argue. You know, Wakanda has different territories that they have to deal with and fighting and stuff. Zamunda, they're just all like, you know, hanging out and having a good time. Plus, they have much better musical numbers. Let's see. Saurian Sky. Coming to America was better than Black Panther. Was the better Black Panther film. Yeah. Coming to America was the better Black Panther film. I remember the meme that was coming out when Black Panther was about to hit. And they're like, I saw Black Panther 30 years ago. And it was that picture of Eddie Murphy with his bride, Lisa. I laughed. I honestly think that Coming to America is better remembered 30 years after it came out than Black Panther will be 30 years after it has come out. So in 2048, shit. Damn, that's a long time from now. Never mind. Black Panther, I'm sticking with that statement. I don't want to think about the future from that long. Let's not. I went to a middle school field trip to see The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy, and I suddenly wished I stayed in school. We went to see Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Yeah, I went to Catholic school. We didn't get to do fun stuff ever. You haven't seen Coming to America? Oh man, Samuel L. Jackson's in that movie. And yeah, Yoda Eaters knows that. So let's see what we're going to cover next. Oh yeah. Seems like Ant-Man and the Wasp was kind of a mistake. There was a misfire in the UK. So this comes from Screen Rant. Ant-Man and the Wasp's UK delay wasn't worth it. After a strategic month-long delay, the UK release of Ant-Man and the Wasp saw the third lowest opening for any Marvel Studios movie and failed to beat Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which was in its third weekend at the box office. The staggered release, which also affected several other international markets, was intended to take Ant-Man and the Wasp out of competition with the FIFA World Cup and The Incredibles 2 and give it a clear run at the UK box office. However, the early numbers indicate that the delay wasn't worth the frustration it engendered in the UK fans and may have even hurt the box office predictions prospects. Blech. I can talk, I swear. So I have seen articles come out talking about how Ant-Man wasn't the hit that people made it out to be. For me personally, Ant-Man was the first Marvel movie that I walked out of and I went, No, I'm not saying that to try to sound cool, like I'm shitting on the Marvel movies before other people. I think a big part of that was the fact that I didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp with a big group of people. Like when you go see these Marvel movies with big groups of people, you all laugh at the jokes, you all have a great time. I didn't get that with Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was me and two other dudes that were in the back of the theater, and it didn't hit me the way it did. And then, you know, I said it was kind of a flop. People are telling me I'm wrong. Well, at least in the UK, it's not going to be that big a hit. Mareth Dialine says, I'm single as well. I just got too much to do, and I feel like it wouldn't be fair to any significant other for my mind and heart to be divided as it is. See, Mareth Dialine, I think you and I are on the same page. There's nothing wrong with it. You just got stuff to do. I know they wanted to call Star Wars fans incels. I'm like, that's not me. That's just a pejorative phrase used to try to belittle, dehumanize the people that have differing opinions. It's funny. These SJW people like to claim that they're for equality and a betterment of all mankind, yet they'll attack and talk shit about you left and right and try to make you less than human. So their cause has no winners. It's just to make themselves feel better. If anything, it's the worst, most evil cause because they're just using all these dirty tactics to shut you down and try to make you feel bad and be embarrassed about who you are. Pierce Brosnan should play Bond again. Ether 101 Prime, I actually have had this discussion with Dion where we were talking about James Bond. I said, why don't we start it out where it says 10 years from now and then the gun barrel plays and it's Pierce Brosnan. That way it's always 10 years from whatever movie or whenever date you're watching it. Like, don't let the movie tell you what date it is. They always think it's 10 years from now. and James Bond's older, because the character of Bond would die on the job. You don't even have to have Pierce Brosnan die. You could do a James Bond in the style of Logan with Pierce Brosnan, who's evolved as an actor, who still looks surprisingly great for his age. Have him come back, play 007, and give him that like swan song Bond movie. It'll help make up for Die Another Day, which was a complete piece of shit, and it'll give something different and new to the Bond universe. And then you can go back and just have somebody else play. And then it's always 10 years from where that movie is. That's what'll happen. A lot of Pierce Brosnan love on this channel. I got to tell you guys, thank you so much for letting me know that I'm not alone in my love for the Browser as James Bond. Speaking of James Bond, tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a patron guest, Trent. He has finally watched all of the James Bond films, and he was a 007 virgin when he first found World Class Bullshitters. So we helped him pop the James Bond cherry, and he's going to be on tomorrow night to discuss that with us. So if you're a Bond fan or you're wanting to become a Bond fan, don't miss out on that discussion, because it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to get the other guys on, because we're all 007 nuts. You're going to find very few people that have watched the movies as many times as I have. I'm going to ask Trent some questions, and then you guys can answer the questions too and get involved in the conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a different kind of hangout. It's not going to be Star Wars EU where a bunch of people talk. It's going to be a very concentrated one where we give all of you a chance to discuss it with us. So tomorrow, 9 p.m. here on World Class Bullshitters. You do not want to miss out. Closest you've gotten to James Bond is Johnny English. Oh, that hurts my heart. Timothy Dalton was a better Bond than Craig. I agree with that. Pierce was good in Remington Steele as well. Before my time, but I've gone back to watch it. He had that Bond look back then. Pete Gilmore, divorce was the best thing that happened to me. I quit my job and started my own thing as an artist. I can watch what I want, go out with my buddies when I want. Life is sweet. Hey, good for you, man. Some people let a divorce be a crippling thing that ruins their lives. I know there's a guy that's friends with my friend who just got out of a long-term relationship, and he seems to be trying to act like it's all, everything's fine. But I'm friends with them both on Facebook, and you can kind of see that there's like a hollowness to their smile. So you've chosen to not let something like that deter you, and it seems like your life's on the right track. I have a friend named Dave who, got a divorce and got with someone else, and his life is a lot better too. So, there's different situations for every person out there. You don't have to stick with a traditional thing if it's not for you. You don't have to stay in something that doesn't work for you. Just find what works and make yourself happy. I've done that for different things. The Cobra Viper, thank you for your super chat. Can't wait to hear how much he loves Moonraker. Cobra Viper, nobody, and I mean nobody, loves Moonraker the way that you do. He would have been Bond sooner, except the show wouldn't let him. Yeah, Kenneth, speaking of Brosnan, he was on his way to the press conference, and he got a phone call. And if he would have left to go to the press conference and not answer the phone, he would have been James Bond in the 80s. But he answered the phone call. Remington Steele was extended, and he couldn't do James Bond, and we got Dalton. So I'm glad Brosnan debuted in GoldenEye. That was, such a good time for me. Today, just for you, I'm going to watch them all. I feel like I'm going to like it, but these days I don't make much time for movies, but I'll do it. Hashtag Jeff told me to. I love that hashtag. Hashtag Jeff told me to. I feel like people are going to abuse it on Twitter, but, let's have some fun with hashtag Jeff told me to. Now today, if you'd like, you could come on the channel and discuss them with me after you've watched them all. I'm opening that invitation to anyone that has not seen Bond films, that goes out to watch them after, we suggested them here on the channel, and then sits down with me. You're going to have like an in-depth discussion with me one-on-one on the channel about your experience with 007, and we can kind of package that together and make like a super video or something like that. Hell, maybe we'll get Sean Connery to narrate it for us. Scotty Bates. Hey, Jeff, Dante's Peak fan? Great effects. Thank you, Scotty Bates, for your super chat. I saw Dante's Peak once, years ago, on video. I could call myself a fan, but I don't remember myself hating the movie. I know Dion and I always say Dante's Peak or Volcano, and we both always vote for Volcano. I love Volcano, how shitty it is. The part where the dude is holding the body and he jumps out into the lava and he throws the body and he's like, oh, and he melts into the fucking lava. Oh man, 90s cheese at its best. That and Con Air. Oh my god, and Face Off. Whew. I've been in a 90s movies kick lately, like late 90s, where everything's kind of cheesy and shitty, but still, nostalgic for it. I'd give Dante's Peak another watch. I know Linda Hamilton is the mayor of the city or something like that. So I'd have to go back and check it out. But I remember that. Thank you, Scotty. Jeff told me to. Hashtag do it. I don't hate Craig as Bond, but I prefer Connery and Dalton as Bond. I don't see. Here's the weird thing. I consider Daniel Craig the best actor that plays James Bond, but not when he's Bond. Like everything else, not everything, but the other things he does in terms of other projects interest me. Because as a kid, I didn't want to see the Thomas Crown Affair. I saw Dante's Peak, like I said, that one time. I didn't go back and watch other Pierce Brosnan stuff outside of Mrs. Doubtfire. I just wanted him as Bond. Dalton, I can think of like one movie I've seen him in, and that's Hot Fuzz. Connery's been in a bunch of stuff, unlike Indiana Jones. But Daniel Craig has always impressed me, like Girl with Dragon Tattoo. What was the other one I watched him in? Not Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Layer Cake I recently saw. Not recently, like a year ago. I've just been impressed with his work outside of James Bond a lot. The Grand Inquisitor. Hey, taste this muff. Hashtag Jeff told me to. Yeah, Jeff did tell you. Blame me on that one. He was also in Tomb Raider. Oh, man. Young Daniel Craig in Tomb Raider. I forgot. He was also in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, or the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. He played like a Russian soldier or something. Daniel Craig's been around for quite a while. He's older than people realize, too. Hey, Connor was in The Rock. Where's the respect? Hey, I got all respect for The Rock. Now, that's the only fan theory that people throw at me, and I go, that's kind of funny, where Sean Connery in The Rock is actually James Bond, and they locked him up for all these years. I kind of like that one, but I don't act like it's real. I just enjoy the idea. Hey, Craig is my Bond because he's the one I grew up with. I was 18 when he became Bond, so he's been Bond for a good portion of my life. Still, I don't dig him, man. Jeff, do you think Christopher Nolan would destroy Bond? No. I think Christopher Nolan on a James Bond flick would just get you Skyfall or Inception. I don't think Christopher Nolan on a Bond flick would do anything. I think it'd be name recognition, and it would get a lot of people's butts in the seats. But it wouldn't be... See, that's what the Bond franchise is trying to do poorly right now, is innovate. They're trying to, we got Danny Boyle, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's going to take years to get the movie made because he's busy with other stuff. Like, if I was the producer, if I was Barbara Broccoli, Michael G. Wilson rolled up into one, we'll just call them Jeff, I would have made the follow-up to Spectre last year. I'd be on the every other year kick for Bond, and I'd get somebody consistent and good and fun, and I'd make these Bond movies. I'd get Bond back in the public eye to where people are always wanting more. People forget about Bond, and then it comes back. Sometimes it does big numbers, sometimes it doesn't. Skyfall was a huge hit because it came out on the 50th anniversary. Spectre took a bump, or took a hit from that. I just don't like, waiting 5 years, 3 years, 6 years, 10 years. Oh, just announced the next Bond actor is Chris Tucker. Well, I'm okay with that. Chris Tucker's a fantastic actor. He should get an Oscar for his lifetime achievement work for Money Talks, Rush Hour, and The Fifth Element. Press 1 if you agree with that. He'll get some new fresh blood who hasn't done much to a Bond. Yeah, if Nolan was directing, Tom Hardy would be James Bond. Maybe I'd be okay with that. I don't know. They always say the grass is greener until you get there. I'm always like, yeah, no, Daniel Craig. Let me get some Tom Hardy on the Bond movies, and then it sucks. Kevin Hart is the next Bond. I'm fine with that too. I love me some short black James Bond. Jeff Brosnan in The World Is Not a Muff. All right, that wins for today. That wins for today. Holy shit, that's good. Let's see, Jeff. Do you know Mark Hamill will be a Knight Templar on the new season of History Channel's Nightfall? I did not. I saw an episode of Third Rock from the Sun with Mark Hamill on it yesterday, where he gets punched out by Sally for taking his seat or their table at dinner. And Mark Hamill, man, his acting was pretty shitty. Like, I'll give him credit; he's gotten better since 1997. So we'll see if he gets better in that. Bruce Jenner is the next James Bond. Hope not. Hope not. Anything's possible, though, with these people in terms of their entertainment. So now here, it's funny. Sometimes these SJW people fight for something, and then sometimes they get something that they'd want, and everyone's okay with it. So Mulan, they released the first image of the new live-action Mulan movie, and I can't complain because Mulan takes place in China, and Mulan's Chinese, so they get an actress to play Mulan, and there we go. There's Mulan from the live-action flick. I know not a lot of people are going to be caring about live-action Mulan. I won't. But all I can say to you guys is there she is, and I guess Disney did something right. This is kind of like the people on the sane side. It's like there's the SJWs and there's the sane people. The SJWs can't bitch about this, and then the sane people can't bitch about this because it's like it takes place in ancient China and she's Chinese. So they got Rose Tico? Yes, sorry, in Japan they got Rose Tico. Everything or Nothing or From Russia with Love game. I'm gonna go with Everything or Nothing because the From Russia with Love game had clunky driving controls. They got the pronunciation of the names wrong, and it's my favorite Bond, one of my favorite Bond flicks. And because they changed it, I don't like it. So there we go. Mulan is just another Crouching Tiger movie. Well, Mulan is not a movie that's going to be watched by me, but I thought it was relevant since we always talk about the SJW people. There's nothing they can bitch about with this picture. If they find something to bitch about, then they're the truly crazy ones. Well, yeah, you're surprised they're not calling her not Asian enough. Well, Ruby Rose isn't gay enough, according to some article I read, which is laughable at best. Like, what's the level that they gauge that by? I don't know. It's just people on the internet are just always looking to be outraged about something. You could put up a piece of notebook paper and say that the lines aren't thick enough or something, and people are outraged. What about the people that can't see the lines? Like stupid shit like that. That's what the internet allows people to bitch about and have a voice. And then, these stupid websites that are run by those people elevate and amplify the stupidity. And then you got movie studios and other people being concerned about the thickness of the lines. It's just a allegory for outrage culture. Richard says, "Good morning, Mr. Shitter. How was your weekend?" Well, Richard, thank you for asking. The weekend was fantastic. Live stream on Friday for American Psycho. Double live stream on Saturday for Comicsgate and The Thing. Sunday, I didn't do shit, and I loved it. I picked up a new printer, and that's about it for the channel to do some work. And then Monday, I got back on it, yard work, and now we're here. By the way, folks, there's a lot of people watching. If you haven't listened to the Mauler stream with Dishonored Wolf, make sure you go back and you listen to that after this morning's Good Morning Pop Culture because it was great. It was really a long show, and not a minute went by that I was thinking to myself, this isn't good. This was excellent. It's great to be friends with Mauler. He's a really interesting guy, very, very kind. I like talking to him quite a bit. Now, let's get this Mulan shit off the screen, and let's talk about today's piece of bad comic book art. So this comes from Spider-Man. Yeah. And let me zoom in on this for you guys so you get a better view. Al is right. So I'm just going to stop talking for a moment to let you guys... David, I will answer your question in just a moment. So yeah, look at Spider-Man. What's wrong with him? Well, let's break it down. It's not even that he's fat, kind of pregnant. Let's look at, okay, so I draw. If I was breaking this down, what's my first problem? Well, look at his rib cage. His rib cage is so broken and dislocated. It's like he has a tumor baby in there. And then his hips are so wide, like he's pregnant. And then, okay, if you cut out everything below his neck and above his thigh, the picture's anatomically correct and looks good enough. But it's that shoulder to crotchular region where it's fucked up. Yeah, Spider-Man has thick ribs. Look, this is a fairly new book. I'm 10 years old. I know I own this comic because I just remember shit like this. Holdo's Muff, thank you very much for your super chat. Ha ha ha! Spidey's got front butt. Spidey's got something. And it ain't, oh my god, front butt is pretty accurate to that. I don't even know if I could call this man boobs on Spidey because, I mean, the boobs would sway a certain way. This is just bad art. What do you expect coming from a company called Screen Rant? Who drew this? It's not Giuseppe Caminoli. It's one of these artists that I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure this was from the Craven story arc back in 2008-9. Today, it looks like he's got a chest burster. Alien meets Spider-Man to make some spider babies. The fuck? First off, thank you, Tanae, as always. Yeah, that would actually make this much more interesting if as soon as Spider-Man landed, he goes, "I don't feel so well, Mr. Stark," and oh, and it comes spurting out of his chest. Oh my god, that'd be great. That would be as good as the scene in Spaceballs where it bursts out of his chest and John Hurt's like, "Not again!" And then it starts playing that song and dances and does the, was it that Top Hat number? That would be incredible. What the hell did I walk into? You walked into a great morning show. The best way to start your morning is Good Morning Pop Culture. It's been scientifically proven. So don't do anything else. If you're working or lurking, or you're off today or getting ready to go back to school, all those are the worst. The first day of school. I feel bad for anyone that has to go back to school this week. It's too early. You should go back to school in September. Tanae, thank you very much. LOL. Is this a bad Spidey gender bend from Pornhub? No, this is from an actual Marvel comic. That's not really saying too much nowadays. Oh, guys, this was printed in a Marvel book. Well, I've seen some stupid shit printed in a Marvel book. Bad art isn't as offensive as like the SJW garbage in the storytelling. Hell, even if it's not SJW garbage in storytelling, just bad storytelling is more offensive than this because I've been an artist. I'm working on something now. Sometimes you're working through stuff so fast you don't see it. You didn't have time to step back. You got deadline crunches. So I can understand this. It doesn't make it any less funny. I think the inker, if the artist isn't the inker should have fixed this. Spidey needs to work on his core. Yeah, he really does. Crunches, all kinds of stuff. That weird cable tie exercise where you're on your knees and you bend down. It's like a standing crunch almost. Never skipped front butt day. Spider-Man has never skipped front butt day or a Twinkie or an ice cream sandwich. Let's see. Bad comic book art is at least entertaining. Yeah, it is entertaining. It's a segment of this show that I think everyone likes. I actually got a really good one for tomorrow. I don't want to tell you guys because it'll kill the surprise. It gives you a reason to come back tomorrow. Speaking of coming back, let's get back to Sony over on Screen Rant because they're doing something stupid. This ties in with Spider-Man, my favorite superhero. Sony's the reason why we can't have nice things. I just got off a 4-hour flight, so happy to be greeted with pregnant Spider-Man. Spider-Man, we salute you. You're a hard-working mother. Carrying your baby, you're fighting crime, you're getting your brain taken over by Dr. Octopus, and you're keeping the kids. So thank you, Spidey, for all that you do. You show all the hardworking mothers out there that you can have a life and a baby at the same time. Billy Ritchie, pull up the old Womb Raider comics from Top Cow. Oh, sorry, old Tomb Raider comics from Top Cow. Sorry, my mind is elsewhere. I'm seeing pregnant, womb. So I apologize. Pull up the old Tomb Raider comics from Top Cow. I'll check those out. Do they have really notoriously bad art? Triple XL Spoderman. Would you guys see a Triple XL Spoderman film? Could we technically make a Triple XL Spoderman comic book? Like, is that legally allowed if we don't use the suit? Womb Raider. Oh my. Spider-Man is hiding Quato. Total Recall. Oh, I know Quato. Womb Raider, turn off Pornhub. I can't. Oh, the art was beautiful. Okay, was it Michael Turner? Because he's the man. Do I like European comics? I think Corto Maltese and Tintin have great potential. Hollywood milked American comics to death, in my opinion. They may have to move to other sources. I liked the Tintin movie, the Steven Spielberg CGI flick. I like European comics, Judge Dredd, and the stuff that appears in Heavy Metal or Metal Hurlant. I like to think of myself as a pretty cultured comic book reader. A lot of times I'm looking at the art to try to learn things, see how certain artists would draw them, if I like the way they're drawn, inking techniques, stuff like that. So I've checked out comics from all over the world. You know, surprisingly, there's like I think it's a Turkish Star Wars comic that's really good, but it's not produced under Lucasfilm, and so it never got released, but there's like a really good one out there. Tanae says the chat's got me in tears. Dude, I crack up during the chat a lot. European comics have more titties in it. Yeah, that's also why I enjoy it. I remember as a kid, I'd go to the store and you could read Heavy Metal magazine and there's just boobs and you're like, cool. I mean, I don't care if I'm a kid or an adult. Boobs in a comic book are always cool in my eyes. Womb Raider was a thing. Just don't Google it work. I mean, technically I am at work. I'm not going to Google it on the air. That'd be kind of weird. It's like, hey guys, let's Google Womb Raider together and see what pops up. And that's the end of this show because YouTube has shut me down. Hashtag fat shaming Spider-Man. Well, he's a crime fighter. He should be in better shape. His crime fighting is like CrossFit. He should be out there fighting Dr. Octopus, not, eating Twinkies and shit. He ain't pregnant. He looks like he has a folded pizza box shoved into a suit. He is packing his lunch. I guess he was tired of using those web backpacks because it would seep into the food and make it taste all shitty. So there you go. That's where Spider-Man did it. Wait, you said you didn't like Captain America with huge boobs. Well, yes, I didn't like Captain America with huge boobs because it's, Captain America with huge boobs. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Thank you for your very generous super chat. 2 kids on a bus arguing. It's spelled womb. No, it's womb. Woman leans over. It's spelled womb. Kid says, excuse me, but have you ever heard a hippo fart underwater? What? What the hell did I just read on air? Never mind. I'm sorry. That caught me off guard. Oh my god. Thank you, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. There you go. You broke Jeff on the air. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my god. Cecil, is that you? I don't know, but the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey's got me laughing. My eyes are very moist right now. Hashtag Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey made me do it. Yeah, Jeff's status broken. Tanae says, Jeff, ho 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 ho. Yeah, that's my mood for this morning, Tanae. Just lots of laughter, lots of coffee. I'm just that's why I love doing this show so much. It's like, how'd you start your day today, Jeff? I laughed when we talked about hippo farts and pregnant Spider-Man. Womb is a word that weirds me out. I hate to break it to you, but you were there once, so it's okay. It's okay. Moist lives matter. Yeah, they do. All lives matter. Or, according to Cthulhu, no lives matter. Cthulhu 2020. Yeah, Jeff's eyes just got to... Well, if my eyes got turned into Holdo's muffs, they'd be dry, crusty, and sandy, because nothing gets that thing moist, so... Ugh. Sorry, Laura Dern. I have nothing against you personally. You just played the worst Star Wars character ever. Speaking of the worst character ever, Sony's Marvel universe may already have a Spider-Man replacement. So do you guys know who Silk is? Probably not. It's one of those characters that they pumped out in the last couple years over at Marvel. Dan Slott worked on it. And it was basically, they turned the Spider-Man universe into a joke because everybody has spider powers and everybody has this and all this multiverse bullshit. They basically took the worst parts of 80s or 70s DC and brought it to modern day Marvel. You've seen art of Silk, you don't know who Silk is, you've heard Silk, but you've never read. You're not really missing out. I think this is a lame, half-assed attempt to try to make some money. Because remember last week how we covered, no, it's not Silver to Silky Johnson from Chappelle's Show. It's not, last week we were talking about the 900 characters that Sony has control of from Marvel, and they're probably just all offshoots of Spider-Man. They probably have it in their contract that anything created by Marvel in the Spider-Verse instantly goes to Sony. So they are probably going to try to make a Spider-Punk film. They're probably going to try to make a Spider-Ham film, which, well, Spider-Ham does appear in this new Into the Multiverse movie. And whoopty shit. Sorry, Dan Larson. I'm not excited for Spider-Ham the action figure, which I've passed up, or the character. I like 80s comic books a lot. They're my favorite decade, but man, Spider-Ham just doesn't do it for me. That or the old Fred Hembeck drawings. I don't care. I ask you, how much Spider-Man have you read? Well, I own about, probably, since I haven't bought the last couple of years, I own about 70% of the entire run of Amazing Spider-Man. And I don't mean like in hardback books. I mean, I own physical issues. And I've read most of those. Let's see. I've read everything from Amazing Fantasy 15 through probably 150 guaranteed. And then I've read on and off up until you get to Spider-Man 200. And I think I've read almost every issue from Spider-Man 200 to 700. No, yeah. And then after 700, it comes and I have chunks here and there that I've owned and read. But yeah, I've read most of Spider-Man. When I say that it's my favorite comic book character, I mean it. That's what got me into drawing. I got books. I got the Spider-Man Vault, Spider-Man the Ultimate Guide, Spider-Man the Icon, Spider-Man the Art of Spider-Man Classic, all kinds of books, like actual hardback coffee table books. There's a box of Spider-Man cereal, which has nothing to do with it. So I've read a lot of Spider-Man. Silk, I remember the Silk stuff where there's this weird, like, her and Spider-Man are banging because of the weird pheromone thing. What did I think of Web of Spider-Man? Like, as a series, it's fine. I mean, the first issue is great because that's where the bell tower scene from Spider-Man 3 comes from. And then overall, Web of Spider-Man is a solid series. It's a little darker than the Amazing mainline stuff. It was better than Spectacular. Well, no, fine. Amazing's always been the best line. Web of was really good when it first came out, and Spectacular got better towards the early 90s. Because, like, Web of wasn't worth... Well, besides the artwork from Alex Saviuk. Like, I'm actually holding an issue right here. Web of Spider-Man number 68 in my hand. Like, if you can hear the paper, that's what that is right here in my hand. It's got Tombstone on the cover. As a kid, I just wanted to read Spider-Man comics, so I didn't care if it was Web of, Spectacular, Adjectiveless, Amazing. It was just, what I was into. There were a lot of female spider heroes, weren't there? I seem to remember Spider-Woman. There was Spider-Woman. Was it Jessica Drew was her name? She was around since the 70s, I think. She had that black... That's why Spider-Man has the black symbiote costume looks the way it does, because in Secret Wars, he's thinking to himself how much he liked her costume, therefore it mimics it. And that comes from Spider-Man, the Ultimate Guide. That's where I get that piece of knowledge. Web of Spidey was your favorite, says Amy. Web of Spider-Man was good. I met the artist that was on there, Alex Saviuk. Nice dude, my Facebook friend. Maybe I can get him on the channel sometime. We can talk about Spider-Man art. He's one of the all-time Spider-Man greats. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. He's like, if you're going to break it down for maybe top 10 Spider-Man artists, he might be at number 10. He deserves his spot at the table. My most valuable issue of Spider-Man. Issue 300 goes for quite a bit of money. I got a mint condition copy of that a couple years back for like $150. I've seen it go up quite a bit. The earliest I go back is probably issue 19. And then I really want to get issue number 50, but I can't bring myself to spend like $700 on a comic book until I got, millions in the bank or something. Then I'm not going to drop that kind of money. Yeah, there is an Ultimate Guide for Spider-Man. I've had it since the year 2000. It came out before the movie. And then there's an updated version which has the movies and other stuff in it. So if you're out at the half-price bookstore, check it out. Spider-Man Big Time is really great. I own all those issues. I seem to remember to like it enough that I read it all. I know I own it. That's the thing. I know I own it and I've read it. It just certain storylines pop out as great. Certain storylines pop out as I know I've read them and they were just okay. Now, let's see. Venom is gay. I foresee the future. That'd be a weird twist if they made the character gay. Am I the only one here that doesn't like the black dude Spider-Man? I don't like Miles Morales. That's a series I just have no interest in. It exists to just have a multiracial character. It doesn't seem to have anything unique to say. Yes, I've played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Like I said, I really, really like me some Spider-Man, guys. I have played most of the games. I'm going to get the new one for PS4 and stream it because most of you requested that. Yeah. There we go. I stopped when Todd McFarlane drew Spider-Man. Don't hate me, but Todd McFarlane isn't that good. I'm never going to hate someone who has a differing opinion from me. And Amy, Todd McFarlane is not my favorite Spider-Man artist. I would rank him highly on the list because of his importance and the impact he had in altering the character. To this day, his influence can still be felt. But he's not my favorite artist. I like the classics. I like John Romita Sr., John Romita Jr. on Spider-Man, Gil Kane, inked by John Romita. There's a certain look I like, and Todd McFarlane altered that. I even like Eric Larson and Mark Bagley a lot more than I like Todd McFarlane, but I respect Todd McFarlane's achievements as an artist, as a person. He's who I would aspire to be in terms of following in the footsteps of success, but he's not my favorite artist. Well, Silk's design isn't that bad, but let me get into the article why I don't really like the idea of the character. So, where'd we go? Right here. Sony are reportedly developing a solo movie for Silk, a female Korean-American spider person from the Spider-Man's extended cast. The film, which has been under consideration for some time before getting an internal green light, might have just been what Sony's Spider-Verse needs in lieu of Peter Parker's extended residence in the MCU. Launching this October with Venom, Sony's intention to create their own cinematic universe out of the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery and other associated characters has drawn a lot of skepticism for, lacking a Spider-Man. Sure, Venom has enough comic mileage to warrant going his own way, but the likes of Kraven and Morbius together are tougher. Many of these characters are tied to their insatiable need to pursue the webhead, or to the point of telling their story otherwise feels a bit pointless. But while Peter Parker may be the central web-slinger, he's far from the only one. His absence just means Sony has got it creative in how they fill the gap as a central protagonist. Silk is an ideal candidate to anchor the universe sense of heroism, and a novel way for Sony to bring something distinctive to the collective array of Marvel characters. Here's the thing. She made her debut in 2014 in The Amazing Spider-Man #4 by Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos as part of the original Sin crossover. So there we go. I knew the characters knew. That is my my red flag in terms of these things. When a character is brand new, I don't think they need to have a movie. They don't need to appear in a film yet. Why? Because they haven't had enough stories to adapt to film properly. Look at Spawn. Spawn came out, 97, the movie, and the comic debuted 92. So within a 5-year gap, you had a Spawn movie. And it wasn't that great. You really could just tell the origin story. And in this, at least with Spawn was a wholly unique original character that it built its own world. This is just a very small, and I do mean very small, offshoot of Spider-Man, one of the most famous superheroes of all time, the Big Three. So, again, it's like the Gotham of movies, it's in the Spider-Man verse, but there's no Spider-Man. Well, here's Gotham without Batman. A lot of people don't watch that show. I don't think this movie is going to sell. Korean-American Spider-Person. Unless they title that on the poster, I'm not watching this. This movie won't happen. I know it probably won't happen, but the thing is that they're trying to fill the gap from Spider-Man. Makes me laugh. Like, look, Sony, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wish Disney didn't buy Fox. I wish they would buy Sony and just tell them to shut the fuck up. Sony is the most damaging studio in the entertainment world. I mean, Amy Pascal and her lady boner for getting the Ghostbusters on screen caused a lot of damage. And then you had the Emoji Movie and stuff like that. Like, Sony doesn't put out movies that get people excited. Sony digs for the scraps. They're like, oh my God, we got this little piece and this little piece, and we're going to put these all together. They don't get to they don't deserve the success there. They don't actually have that much success, with the exception of Jumanji, which was a Columbia flick back in the day. What year did? Well, I think Sony bought Columbia Pictures early on, so that's not here, neither here nor there. But overall, Sony does more damage than they do good. Remember the proposed Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover and all these other crazy ideas that never happened? Sony is the king of putting ideas out there that never come to fruition. They make good products and games, but their movies suck. Yeah, I am proud to own a Sony PlayStation, all of them, 1 through 4, and the first PSP. I don't dislike Sony as a consumer electronics company, and I like their. I had a Sony TV before it was stolen. I've had other Sony products that I've been proud to own: Walkman, Sony Ericsson phone. But just as a studio, they just don't do it anymore. I'd prefer Sam Raimi back. So would I. In a perfect world, Sam Raimi would have made Spider-Man 4. We would have forgot about 3. And Spider-Man, an adult, would have been in these MCU flicks. I don't need, Spider-Boy, Tony Stark's assistant. It's like that old comic book. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Iron Man's pal, Spider-Man. No. Frederick Godzilla Mencken, thank you very much for your super chat. Revan has an amazing story arc. Excuse me, Revan has an amazing hero arc. The Darth Revan character from the Knights of the Old Republic, there's that big twist, though, at the end, which makes him memorable. Like, for someone that hasn't played through the game, I know that arc. So, if you can get somebody like me who likes Star Wars and doesn't necessarily know your game to know your big twist, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think it has the impact to reach a lot of people. It lives outside of it. I don't know if Sony is adapting Faith or not. No, I think it's too late for Sam Raimi to direct Spider-Man. For as much as I'd like to see that, unless you're going to get the old cast back. And yeah, I do mean the old cast. We're talking J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, Elizabeth Banks as Betty, Bill Nunn as Robbie, Tobey Maguire, James Franco's dead. The character Harry died, and Mary Jane. Like, you got to get them all back as a continuation. And not enough people care. If Homecoming would have been the dumpster fire that some people, wanted it to be or thought it could be, then you may have had them entertaining the idea of Sam Raimi coming back. There was that rumor that during the Sony email leak, they contacted him to come back, but he wasn't interested. Sony really has screwed up a lot of things because Sony really had the second Marvel property that could have been long running. Fox had it first with X-Men in 2000. So you had X-Men, then Spider-Man, then X-Men 2 the next year. If Sony would have been patient and not really pushed Sam Raimi, we could have been on Spider-Man, 8 at this point? And if they were good characters developed the way they were developed in Spider-Man 1 and 2, it would have been interesting to watch Spider-Man go from an 18-year-old high school student to, God, that movie's 16 years old. So he'd have been about almost 40 at this point. Or even past 40. He would have been almost 40. 36? The point is, you could have had that long-running thing that went concurrently with the MCU, and then it could have popped up, and it could have felt like two big franchises coming together. With Spider-Man appearing in the MCU, he just feels like the MCU version of Spider-Man. He doesn't have much of his own identity anymore. If you would have had the old Spider-Man, it would have been two massive franchises coming together. That would have been brought in the big bucks, like way more than Spider-Man Homecoming brought in. I have never read the Fable comics. I can't get on board the new Spider-Man as much as the Raimi series -3, but I don't hate I don't hate it, but my nostalgia is too strong. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. My nostalgia is very strong. I don't hate Tom Holland. I don't think he's a problem. There are problems with the story. I have a problem with Spider-Man with the AI suit and always kissing Mr. Stark's ass. But no, Tom Holland as a person seems to be very excited to play the role with the right costume and the right cast around him. It'd be great. But because it's Sony and Marvel, they got to keep fucking up stuff. We can't get traditional adaptations anymore. And it just always leaves me angrier than it makes me happy. Tobey was the best Spider. Yeah, I agree. Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man on film. Not arguing that. I'm just saying I don't hate Tom Holland. I hate Andrew Garfield. Glad his ass was fired. So there we go with the whole Silk thing. See, now I love talking about Spider-Man. Today's been a very Spider-centric episode. We don't have to, dwell on the past of certain characters. Ray. Let's see if our favorite thing pop up, because before we get to the Ask Jeff Anything segment, I wanted to see if they had there's something I thought I wanted to show you guys over on the action figure swap thing because it made me laugh. While that loads, for some, I don't get it. For some reason, whenever I do a live stream like this, my internet wants to shit the bed and, make me look bad on air. Now, do me a favor. Do yourselves a favor. Like, I hope you guys know that I always have your best interest at heart here on this channel. So please do what I'm asking right now and make sure you're not drinking anything. Make sure you don't have anything in your mouth, because you may choke. You may spit up your coffee when I show you this next image. So first off, Tanae, wait, why did Andrew Garfield get fired? Because Andrew Garfield was fired because there was a Sony press conference in Japan, and he was supposed to come out and appear. And there's documentation over on the Midnight's Edge channel, but he got fired because he backed out of the press conference and kind of made Sony look bad, and he embarrassed them, so they got rid of him. Okay, now seriously, this is not don't worry, it's not porn, but do not be drinking anything, because this is going to make you laugh your asses off. So now this was shared multiple places. One of our listeners shared it on the World Class Bullshitters page, but we talk about bad comic book art, we talk about Star Wars figures, we talk about Star Wars nerd culture in general. This ties everything together. I'll wait. Now this isn't Photoshop. Yeah, it's not Kathleen Kennedy nude, thankfully. This isn't Photoshopped. Yeah, this isn't fake. This is real, 100%. Yeah. So this is the most poorly painted Star Wars figure in history. Let's zoom in a little bit, shall we? There we go. This is Rey. If you look closely, you can see where the eyes are sculpted and where they meant to spray the paint app on, but they fucked it up. Yeah. I'm glad. See, look at that quality. Autistic Ray. I'd bang her down. A lot of people are getting on the Ray train right now. Look at her eyes. Brian Pepper Ray. Oh, man, that's an old school reference. There's a channel called Wang, or the guy's called Wang, or whatever, that I watched, WHANG, and he talked about the Brian Pepper meme. Good channel. He's had a lot of growth, so good for that guy. But, yeah, that's the last Brian Pepper thing I talked about. Somebody needs to make a shirt. Cesaria Japan. I didn't know they rebooted the Goonies. Cesaria Japan, thank you very much for your super chat. I didn't either. This will be about the hour about the hour 45-minute marker there, Alpha Mar. She can't act or see. She can't do a lot of things. I never go full Ray. What's the price for it? Probably $15, because Walmart assumes it's a full figure. Tanae says, I am Ray, ski walker. Look me, lightsaber, shoom, shoom, shoom. Oh my god. Never go retard, damn. Someone send this to Daisy Ridley. But guys, if you send this image to Daisy Ridley, that's hate speech and you're harassing her. There's no in between. There's no in between. You can't say, hey, look at this funny mispainting of a figure. No, you're an angry, sexist, racist troll on the internet who's trying to harm an actress. No, we just thought this was funny and we wanted to show this to her. I should have Wang on sometime. I can invite him and I can ask. There are people that I've invited on the show and they've never responded, but then I've had people like Dishonored Wolf and Mauler come on. So anything's possible on YouTube. I mean, look, I'm friends with Ethan Van Sciver, who's a huge DC comic superstar, and Jeremy, and we got the High Council, and we got that rolling too. So anything is possible. But I will ask Wang. Star Wars, the inbred Jedi. Could you guys come up with better names? Not better than that. I mean, that's a good one. I'm not saying that's not good, but can you guys come up with great names for Rey right here? So we have Star Wars, the inbred Jedi, and that's the winner, obviously, so far. Is there even Banjo Country in Star Wars? The underwater hippo fart made her eyes drop that low. Her midichlorian count got mutilated or mutated. Oh, Wang is buddies with Nurkish. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I'll try to get Wang on the channel and see if he wants to come on and hang out with me. I'm glad I know Nurkish now. Tanae, inbred eye night. Han Solo in Jabba's palace. Inbred eye night. I'm out of it for a while. Everyone's got delusions of grandeur. Ray got high on chromosomes. I can count a Ratato. Chernobyl Ray. Diane Franklin will probably be on the show. I don't know who Diane Franklin is. I do not. I'll have to Google her. No wonder Ray's parents ditched her. Nerf herder Barbie. Alabama Ray, cousin loving Ray. So Snoke is her father. Star Wars: The Last Droopy. Proof that Sloth got laid at least once. Baby Ruth. Today, thank you for your super chat. What was she snoking? Some good shit. That's the spice that Han Solo dropped at the first sight of an Imperial ship. Ray got some on Jakku. So you're saying Luke and Leia are Ray's parents? That's exactly what I'm saying. This should happen to Ray in episode 9. I agree. This should happen to Ray. You know what? Luke lost a hand. Anakin got lit on fire. Ray's eyes just kind of fell off of her face. The derp awakens. The last derp. This is why Jedi never buy death sticks. You see, folks, episode 2 did teach you something important about life. You don't want to buy death sticks. We need one for Kylo to have a complete set. Yeah. Ray was a Goonie after all. Yeah, she never said die. Oh, yeah, paper bag Ray. The derp side of the Force. Yeah, I like that. Is this Ray Fallout edition? The last derp eye. Solo, a droopy eye story. Her dad's Droopy McCool. This is Droopy Eye McCool. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'd still hit it, says Dennis Smith. Well, Dennis, may not be your proudest moment, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't diss anyone. Ray Voorhees, I sense a great disturbance in Ray's face. Okay, so it's safe to assume that everyone liked this picture. I saw it and I thought, I gotta share this shit on Good Morning Pop Culture. I always want to leave you guys with something fun to start your work week with. So if you're at school or something, well, you probably couldn't watch this at school, but if you're working in Lurgan, I hope you're cracking up and somebody comes by your cubicle and is like, what's so funny? And they see this and they get a chuckle and they walk away. Oh, that toxic fan base. Oh, time to break out the Photoshop and make this a movie poster. If you do, please tag us in it so I can share it or retweet, give it a heart on Twitter. The Curious Case of Ray. Let's see. This is a rare toy. It's worth $1 million. L3 and Lando's love child. Yeah, that's probably right. Return of the Dud Eye. That's episode 9's title confirmed right here. You guys heard it first on World Class Bullshitter, Star Wars episode 9, Return of the Dud Eye. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep this up for a while longer. You guys are going nuts with this one. Sling Blade, a Star Wars story. My boss is in stitches. Well, then your boss is a cool person. Thumbs up to your boss, Yoda. Ray, Dark Lord of the Derp. Did Rian Johnson personally make this toy? Maybe. That's about as accurate as he can be to Star Wars lore, so why not get the eyes just as fucked up too? Oh, I am the derp. Regarding Ray. Yeah, Dion, she didn't want a baby Ruth. I am one with the derp. The derp is with me. The Millennium Falcon is now the short bus. God damn it. Oh, I gotta stop reading these. I'm just gonna sit here and laugh for another 15 minutes. Oh. You never go full derp. You're damn right, guys. You never go full derp. When will you brave the Raylo Tumblr tag? It'd be both cringe and funny. I don't know, Barbara Harrella. 10A, thank you very much for your super chat. The Force is derp. Yeah, the Force ain't forever with this derpy-eyed bitch. Oh, my God. Gee, mister, you're stronger in the Force than I am. Unobtainium Falcon. Unlimited derpiness. We need to get like Doomcock to voice over the derpy talk. I spoke to Doomcock yesterday. We were trying to get him on the stream with Mauler and Dishonored Wolf, but Doomcock had to work. You know, taking over the world isn't easy. So expect Doomcock on the channel sooner than later. Oh my God. Siamese Rays. Her muff is derped too. Ew. Ew. This is what happens when your midichlorians are greater than Anakin's. Oh my God. If they could do this for all new Star Wars characters, it would be a great idea. Derp Boyega? Sure. Kylo Derp? Poe Derperon? Derp 8? Who else? Let's see. There's Snoke would literally be derp, so that wouldn't be that funny. Derp Merle Hux. Who else could we derp in the Star Wars universe? Admiral Derp Bar. That'd be funny. Darth Derper. The Derperer instead of the Emperor. Show it to Cecil. Vice Admiral Herder. I'm gonna call her that from now on. Whole derp. Captain Derpma. I like Captain Derpma. Jake Derpwalker. That's who was in the Last Jedi. Hands down. Wasn't Luke Skywalker. It was Jake Derpwalker. You were the derpy one. I don't know where she's looking at. Not me. She's looking at the floor, the wall, everything but me, even though I'm right in front of her. Admiral Derp. I'm glad you guys like this. Oh, this is a good way to start the week. Derpy Wonka Derpy. I don't know how you have two lazy eyes, but I guess it's possible. I really don't know where else to take the show this morning. I mean, how do you top perfection. I mean, this Rey figure is perfect in every way. She's actually worth something to somebody. You were merely adopted by the derp. I was born in it, molded by it. You have become the very thing you swore to destroy. A derp. Yeah, I can't top this. You're 100% right, Goal. Or G-Hola82, or Gola82. I apologize for butchering that. I derped out on that one right there. You keep missing Derp Tico. Maybe I want to miss Derp Tico. I keep thinking of her face when she's about to crash the speeder to save Finn. She's just like, derp! And then boom. Car crash, space crash, derp crash. That's how you win the war, guys, by not fighting what you hate, but by derping what you love. Or loving what you derp. Search your derp. You know it to be true. It was said you would destroy the derps, not join them. Luke plus a porg equals derp Ray. Oh. Oh, piss off Jerry by making Ahsoka Derpto or Derpo. Yeah, we could. So, somebody out there that's really talented in Photoshop, could you make me a derpy Ahsoka photo so I can share that tonight on the High Council? And you can either tweet that to me or email it to us at worldclassbs@mail.com. And I'll just troll the shit out of Jeremy. Today, thank you, Jeff, and the WCBS fans for making my day. Or making my work day. Good thing I need to shower because my eyes are sore from the tears of laughter. Well, thank you today for joining us this morning and making me laugh as well. And shout out to everybody in the chat because we took the derpiness and we made it the best part of Good Morning Pop Culture. This and the muff, the derpy muff. Oh, and they say our community is toxic. Thank you today. Make it my avatar. I could do that if it's good. If it's a good one, if it's good Photoshop, we could do that. Derp Bros 2 for EVS. Yes. So if someone can send me Derpy Tico and Derpy Tano, I'll make those known right here on the High Council tonight to piss off and scare Ethan and Jeremy, to upset them. Hashtag Jeff and the Derpy Muff. That sounds like a shitty bar. Dion and I would go to that bar for sure. Midnight Cherry TV, thank you. Warning, fans, blue booby milk causes derpiness. Yeah, they need to start putting disclaimers in Star Wars movies. It's at the credits after the 45,000 visual effects artists. They're like, many Bothans died to bring you this derpiness. Boba Fett was the world's most dangerous derp hunter. Boba Derp. I don't know why that one makes me laugh. Boba Derp, where? Is there a rare derp Kylo Ren version somewhere? Well, these derpy figures are worth like trillions of dollars because they're one out of the billion. Somehow this one didn't sell either. So this isn't in someone's private collection. This is at your local Walmart, floating in the derpy ether. I hate derp. It's derp and it's derp and it derps everywhere. Derp it. Solo encased in derpinite. Ray gave Lando Calrissian ST derpies. Oof. Sexually transmitted derp. This thing is worth a fortune on eBay. Probably. If I come across one of these rare derp rays, I'll get it and we'll give it away as a gift here on the channel. We'll have a giveaway. I'm sure millions of people will join the channel just to get involved with the Ray derp giveaway, the derp away, if you will. Yeah, Dennis, I've heard it a lot too. Don't do it, Derpa-kid. I have the down ground. She has over 100,000 derpy chlorians. Oh, oh my God, you guys, you guys are going crazy. Now I wonder if this is going to replace Muff on the channel. Tomorrow morning, Holdo's Muff becomes Holdo's Derp. And then he's stuck with it for 3 months, kind of like Cecil 67 used to be Voorhees 67. Now he's Cecil 67 for 3 months. You know, it's funny. A lot of people in the comments are saying, I'd buy this, I'd buy this, I'd buy this. Disney, Hasbro, listen to me. I know you dislike my toy videos because they, you know, tell the truth and show how piss poor your distribution and toy selection truly is. But there are hundreds of people watching, and I guarantee they'll all throw down good money for derpy figures. So maybe you should just misalign your paint apps for a little while and send out a few exclusive waves of, you know, Derp Awakens toys. That's how you do it. You call back all the properly painted figures, you derp up their eyes, and people will go out and buy those in support of the derp. It's funny, too. We actually have a listener called Herpicus McDerpington, and I feel like that dude should be here right now. He's probably at work, and we'll probably hear this later. But Herpicus McDerpington not being here during the derpiest episode of Good Morning Pop Culture is an affront to the derp. It won't be forgiven. This could save Star Wars. It will save Star Wars, folks. It will save Star Wars. Derp Mall. That would be funny as shit. Let's see. I've altered the derp. Pray I don't herp at any derper. Fuck. I can't keep looking at this shit. I'm going to be working on stuff this afternoon, and I'm just going to be thinking of derp. Derp, derp, derp. If you type in derpy eyes on Google, you get My Little Pony, which I can't show on the channel because it's just, you know, against my beliefs. So let's type in derpy eyes Star Wars. There's a picture of Rey that pops up. Here we go. I'm not a Star Wars Rebels fan, so this may trigger and offend the Rebels fans out there. But then again, you're listening to this show, so you know what you get. The Cobra Viper, thank you very much for your super chat. Some SJW somewhere is trying to figure out how to be outraged by Ridley not being derpy enough to play this derpy of a caricature. I would like to think that there are people out there that wake up and think, how am I going to be offended today? Like, my crusade is to be offended and to take everyone down with me. And that's where we are right now in society. I must be more outraged than someone else. So tomorrow you're going to see some thread on Tumblr talking about how we're, you know, attacking the derpy action figure crowd and how, you know, action figure lives matter and, you know, hashtag action figure rights and stupid shit like that. And then I'll know we've officially made it as a channel because holy shit, people are actually offended about derpy-eyed Rey. Count Derpula. So there's more than just derpy-eyed Rey. There's this. I know this is that Kanan Jarrus guy, but it just makes me laugh. We got double duty out of bad artwork today. Look into my eye. Not this one over here. So there we go. I don't know who this character is besides his name. Derpy Kanan, Coda 2.0. Many derps died to bring you this stream. Yes, let's honor their sacrifice. Let's see. There's just so many derpy-eyed characters. Somebody actually, Glenn Webb had a video customizing live, fixing derpy eye action figure. I wonder if there's an action figure, like eye for him. Action figure eyes. Oh no, it just gives me Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. I don't think. Oh wait. Here we go. I think we found Rey's husband. You will join me in the derp. So, does anyone out there remember the movie World War Z? It's okay if you don't. It wasn't very good. Now, this is the Jerry Lane action figure from World War Z. And I believe Jerry Lane was supposed to be Brad Pitt. But we got this. So, can you guys tell me if you see the likeness between this and Brad Pitt? Dio Branda, thank you very much for super chat. Look up Dirt Mall. It's pretty funny. Let me look up let me Google Derp Mall in another tab. Oh my god, is this I'll show that in a second. Holy shit. I like to think that this show is a group effort. Derp Mall is real. My god. Tanae says he took I See Everything to a new level. There's just so much wrong with this action figure. There's so much. There's just a banana exposing itself. Yeah, we're not going to look at that. That's too weird for this show. Let's pull this up. Derp Mall. I think this is a good way to spend the rest of our show. You guys, everybody wants a good laugh here in the morning. We gave you quite a few. Derpy Kanan versus Derp Mall. Join the derp side of the force and we shall derp this galaxy together. It's looking pretty appetizing at this point in my life. Yeah, that is scary. I mean, that's a Darth Maul mask, but could you imagine? Like, okay, does anyone here actually give out candy on Halloween? Because, you know, you got some little kids coming up. There's a kid as Batman, Spider-Man, the Green Lantern, if you will. And then there's this little kid dressed as Darth Maul. And the mask is oversized, and you just see this face. Like, do you laugh at the kid's face and give him extra candy because you feel sorry for him? Or do you just kind of stare blankly at him and go, what are you supposed to be? Just show us a picture of Richard C. Meyer to put us out of our misery. Damn. Harsh words. Harsh words. I didn't know what he looked like until that Jim Jeffries interview. Give him a pat on the head. This is what happens when Derpy One cuts you in half. Believe me, if someone cut me in half, this is the face I'd make. And then die. Marty Feldman with mall paint. Oh my god. I'd give that kid all the candy. I would too. If some kid had the gall to, you know, come up as Derpy Mall to my house, I would just be like, here you go, kid. Here's all the candy and $20. Get yourself a new mask. On Halloween, I will dress as Kathleen Kennedy or Ryan Johnson. Okay, if you're going to dress as Ryan Johnson, you need to get yourself one of those giant styrofoam balls that they have. Basically, make yourself a walking solar system, and Ryan Johnson's head is the moon. We already have Derp Skywalker in the chat. Oh my god, somebody changed their name to Derp Skywalker? Where? Oh, now I'm searching. I'm looking. Or I could just do at Derp Skywalker. At Derp. Well, why won't you let me at? There we go. Yep, there's two Derp Skywalkers. Hello there. I wonder how long Derp Skywalker is going to stay Derp Skywalker. That's all I can say. Oh, hi, Derp Skywalker. You're my favorite customer. Thanks a lot. Bye. Tommy Wiseau with a derpy eye. Well, he kind of already has a weird eye. Oh. Derpy will be the next protected class in the intersectional world of SJW. Maybe. We'll talk about some derpy Star Warsness tonight on the High Council. The mundane derp. That'll be tonight's episode theme for sure. Good morning to everyone who's joining in. I see you out there in Radio Land. Thank you for joining Good Morning Pop Culture. We're getting close to the end, but maybe we'll go an extra couple of minutes. All right, fine. Mappy Happy Chappy has a good way to keep this show going. Put derp in a movie title. So clear and present derp is good. Now, the only rule is you can only use derp once in the title. So go out there right now in the chat and let me see your best derp. Show me what you derp and make me laugh. Derp overtime. Funky Chunky Funky Monkeys. I could change my name to the farting hippo. In a way, I want you to, but in a way, I want you to retain the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey because I love that name. Deep Blue Dirt Blue Sea. The Derp Pirate Strikes Back, In Derpendence Day, The Derpinator, The Derps of Hazard, Beverly Hills Derp, Derpception, The Derp Who Loved Me, The World According to Derp, Live and Let Derp, Beauty and the Derp, A Good Day to Derp Hard, Derp City, Pirates of the Derp, The Good, the Bad, and the Derp, The Derp Light Zone, Something About Derpy Mary, oh, Derp Woman, The Derp Pendables, Nightmare Before Derp, A Quiet Derp, Derp Rising, The Land Before Derp 6, Derp Story Men, The Derp Night Rises, The Day the Derp Stood Still, Army of Derpness, Command Derp, Eat, Pray Derp, Derp Does Dallas, that's my favorite, Back to the Derp, Derp NATO, Derp NATO. Could somebody out there please Photoshop a Sharknado poster with like a bunch of Derpy Ray action figures and shit just floating around? Derp Maul, Derp Ray, Derp Kanan Jarrus. Please, please, please. 2001, A Derp Odyssey. Let's see. Life According to Derp. The Extirpables. Night of the Living Derps. There's so many damn good titles out there. Make that movie Derp NATO. Lord of the Derp. Shout out to everybody who's the real MVP out there. The MVD, the most valuable derp. That's the award now. Who gets the best derp in the morning? The MVD award. Captain America, the First Derp. Clockwork Derp. Inspector Derp. Well, if it's got French Stewart in it, it definitely is Inspector Derp. 2010, the year we go derp. Yeah, we've gone derp. Instead of gone to plaid, we've gone to derp. 50 Shades Derp. Space Derps. Teenage Potato Ninja Derp. That's Rose Tico. Or sorry, Derp Tico. Oh, Derp Busters. Magnum Derp. Ferris Bueller's Derp Off. That sounds dirty. Leon the Derpfessional. Oh my god, these are really good and really fast. Derp Man Begins, Derp Day the 13th, Raiders of the Lost Derp, The Never Ending Derp. I should really change the name of this show to The Never Ending Derp, because that's what it's been. Ever since I showed Daisy Ridley with those derpy eyes, it's just been derp after derp after derp. Hell, shit, I should change the Patreon exclusive name from World Class Bullshitters After Hours or After Dark to World Class Bullshitters After Derp. One person would get the joke and laugh. Oh, $1 Million Derpy. Derpy on Green. Derpo Slice. The Last Standing Samoan Derp Utam. That's our new names. Those are our names. Because we are world-class bull derpers, says John. Oh my god. You guys are... I mean, seriously, I could look away for a minute and there'll be 100 new derps. People can never say we don't engage our community. So, folks, I think this is a good derp to end the show on. I just did that. I just said that. I don't hate myself for it one bit. But thank you to everyone who's watched Good Morning Pop Culture this morning. We had a fantastic show. Oh my God. Neil Blomkamp believes Peter Weller should play RoboCop in his sequel. Oh, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Oh my God. I'm going to wait. I'm going to also talk about that on World Class Bullshitters with Dion because that's his favorite movie. He loves RoboCop, and I don't really want to keep my friend away from the thing he loves. I can end the show, but I can't stop the dirt flood. I don't want to stop the dirt flood. You know what? If you want to keep the dirt flood rolling, make sure you guys go over to Twitter and use them. Tell me a dirt movie title and use the hashtag Jeff made me do it. So hashtag Jeff made me derp it. There we go. So keep the fun rolling on Twitter, and I will do my best to pull together a decent list, the ones that make me laugh the best tomorrow, and I'll read them on air, and everyone will get a shout out. So I'd like to thank everyone who joined us for Good Morning Pop Culture. Very special shout out to our friend Tanae. Thank you very much. Thank you to Mareth Dealing. Thank you to everybody out there. World Class Bullshitters is getting ready to go to its first convention in the coming weeks. Actually, next Friday night, which is the 24th, we'll be in Indianapolis for Horror Hound. So if you'd like to meet us and hang out with us, please do. I know a couple of our friends like Timothy Riggs is going to be there. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I know I'm talking about a horror convention, and you might think, that sounds lame and derpy. But we'll be there, so it will be lame and derpy. But it'll be a good time. So thank you to everyone who's enjoying this show. Like I said, guys, keep the dirt flood going over on Twitter using the hashtag Jeff made me derp it. And I will read those. I will be paying attention to that hashtag from now on. I wonder how long we can keep it alive. I'll shit my pants like a year from now after everything. It's just like, yeah, hashtag Jeff made me derp it. And I'll take the blame 100%. So thank you, Peter Martin. Thank you to everybody who's telling me to have a nice day. You won't have to wait to see me until tomorrow. You can catch me tonight over on Geeks and Gamers with the High Council, where we'll be discussing Mundane Matt and his meltdown. And because we're a part of it, it's not that we're trying to pick on the guy or get involved with something that we're not a part of, but we've been involved firsthand, and it's affected Ethan's channel, and we got each other's back. So the High Council stays strong. We keep each other's best interest at heart, and we will be live tonight at 9:00. So who derped Roger Rabbit? God damn it. I gotta stop. I'm not gonna look at the chat so I can finish this show, because I'll sit and read derp all day. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So incoming derp tonight, guys. Have a good one. And as always, thanks for watching, and make sure you catch us tomorrow. Same derp time, same derp channel. Good morning, derp culture.